applications can use it?
Yeah, you can use it in as many as you want.
Hey, everybody. I am hopping on the HippyDippy recruitment panel this evening. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Talking about cybersecurity and hacking and whatnot. So hope you guys can enjoy. Should be fun. Panel looks pretty good. I like. I know quite a few of the people in here, so it should be interesting. Some new faces and some old standby. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it is a pleasant conversation. I'm going to go into the chat now so we can hear the behind the scenes fun things.
It's a day.
It is the day. The day of eternal B-tier hell is what it is.
How's my sound coming in? Is my sound coming in okay?
I've been in B-tier forever.
Hey, at least you made the list.
True.
I'm the fill-in guy, but nobody appreciates me. They just call me when they need me and forget me when they're making those tier lists.
I'm like people on that thing. It's very hard to remember.
Just remember who's there for you.
Yeah, I was like, I looked at it yesterday, and I was just like, oh shit, I'm not on this, right? And then I see my icon, and I just scream. I'm like, yes. It's so funny. I don't know. It's a really cool feeling.
I've made it. I'm on Daniel's
I've made
list.
It. Yes. 4 weeks of streaming and on TSC. Only way forward is up. That's the grind.
This is about cybersecurity and hacking. What's good hacking? What's bad hacking? So it's not going to be really. I don't think it's going to get political, but
it's a cool.
Everything gets political, right?
Poor Doghouse being stuck in Mayo 6.
It was destined.
Wait, what's Mayo 6? I never understood that. Like, what is that?
Okay, so 2 things. One, as far as the way Danabo used it, I'm pretty sure it's just like, hey, we haven't seen these folks forever. They're just not really here. There used to be a channel alliance called Mayo 6. I don't know if it's still a thing, but like Mindwaves and Dario and a few people were in it.
I'm the last member of the Mayo 6, I think. Let me have a look at the team.
Wait. Hold up. How dare you?
Are you still in it?
Oh, no.
No, you left. I'm the last one.
Listen, I'm working with people with reputations.
Oh my god.
Let's have a look at the people in the... Oh, it's me, Mindwaves, and Synth. Let's have a look at the people in the future.
All right, I guess this overlay will do for today.
Where's CTV's logo?
I can't find it. So either we start like 15 minutes late until I find it, or we go with this.
Just roll.
No, you're doing this on purpose. I know your plan.
He's not even here.
A geek is going to send it to me after the show, so I have to edit.
Exactly.
A little bit more. That's what he's doing.
Putting you to work.
Who are we missing?
CTV.
Is that it?
Probably.
No, we're still missing someone else, aren't we?
Maybe.
I think it's just...
yeah, we are short one. Give me a second. I got to figure out who it is.
No.
Yeah, Fanboy Mats.
Yep.
Oh, I hear it.
It's
And
just
they mentioned
CTV.
being late, yeah.
There you go. Speaking of the...
Oh my god, it's CTV. Wow.
Wait, geek, the Chrome capture's over your overlay.
Give me a sec.
Okay.
It's looking good in France. Nice.
And now for the magic of the... There you go. I just cleaned my room. Ish.
Does anyone ever get like a sense of awe where you realize that Geek is actually in France? You can see that the sun isn't even fucking up. And like for me it is. And Analyzer's over there in Ausland. His sun just came up. Mine's about to go down, and fucking Geek's sitting over there. Sun's been up for a couple hours. For some reason, every now I think about that, and it just makes me have a complete sense of awe. It's just like, holy crap.
Earth is massive.
You're really easily impressed, aren't you?
No.
Just kidding.
Ouch.
I just
No,
like to
for me, it's.
I like to
For me, it's.
I like to
I don't-
respect a scale greater than myself sometimes, you know?
I don't know. For me, it's like second nature to think about like, oh, it's France, it's daytime here, must be nighttime there, because like I'm always looking at like flying stuff, and sometimes it helps to know if it's day or night there when you're looking at what planes are doing.
Oh, CTV. You hear me?
Yeah, buddy. What's up?
Before we start the panel, you should check your PayPal. There should be a surprise from the community. Let's put it that way.
Do I have to do this right now?
I mean, I would.
Do I want to know?
I don't know that I want to know right this minute.
You
I'm in a
probably
very vulnerable place right now, Danabo. What are you trying to do?
Obviously, money.
You
What the heck?
should.
You don't want to know if you have money. What?
I hope it's for more Speedo pics.
It's probably a conditional money thing.
You said gift. I don't know. It kind of would breach the terms of a gift.
Okay, I see it.
All right.
All right, cool.
Love the behind the scenes stuff. So fun. So fun. Pretty boring watching the sausage get made.
I hope this will work.
And with that said, we've
No.
got this show going on today, right? We got a show going on?
No,
No
we're just here to
show.
chill. We're just here to chill out.
No show at all.
Show is cancelled.
Show's
I'm-
canceled.
That being
I'm
said,
streaming, just so you all know.
It's just
CTV,
watching Geek.
I love you. How much whiskey did you have this time?
I haven't had any today. I've only had one beer actually today.
One
We
Sounds
demand a
beer.
fantastic.
breathalyzer.
Beige.
They should get one of those things for like they have for cars, but for computers, so you can't go live unless you do a breathalyzer test first. I think that would save a lot of people a lot of hassle. Really, I really think that's a positive step in the right direction.
For me, it would have to be I can't go on Twitter unless I'm stoned because I get way too argumentative on Twitter when I'm not high enough. Like people are too unsmart there.
Geeky's trying to change his camera instead of moving his plates. It's
Chill
so
the-
funny.
Chill the fuck out, Fox.
Just move him.
I used to be like that on Twitter. Like I used to be super
Move.
argumentative.
You know what?
But then I kind of just like look at myself and I say, "Do I really care about this person?" And then I realize no, and then I just kind of chill out over it. Like yeah, whatever.
Oh no, I care. I definitely care. Like granted, like maybe I should just be forced unfollowed of people like Jordan Peterson and anyone who's his fans. But yeah, there are definitely people who say enraging things on there.
Oh yeah, definitely. But
I'm
it's
saying
just like
that,
kind of like
It's for me, it's just self-control. Like I'm gonna get mad either way, whether I'm stoned or not. But how much I act on that anger is the issue. I think I gotta fix my camera.
fair.
All the
All right.
guests
Some
are on
Twitter
time and the
controversy.
host is late.
But there's some controversy for you. Should we force unfollow people, or force people to unfollow the people on Twitter who they can't handle
Yes.
following?
Maybe.
If they're annoying about it, maybe.
Twitter would hate that though. They'd lose like half of their patronage.
Twitter is full of a bunch of dumb shits. Let's be real here.
There's an outrage culture, and every time you're posting because like you're reading about something, you're participating in it. That's it. Don't participate. Unblock
If
these
you're
people.
upset about
all of
something,
them.
you're participating in it.
Don't tell me
Okay.
what to do. I'm tweeting about it right now. I'm outraged.
Damn, CTV's hair's looking good today.
It's growing
Pretty
it out.
solid.
Does
Yeah,
anybody
looks
know
good.
how I can play a video game for my stream while also having a camera on here and a camera on my stream? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Let's not do that.
camera
Why?
on Whereby and on your. One more
Yeah.
time.
I just don't want to use new software. That's all. I'm using OPS and I want to play this game and stream that to my audience, but also have my audience see my camera so they can hear this panel. They can't see any of you guys, which is probably for the better. Just get better
Wow.
cameras is all I mean.
Wow. Wait a second. Why is it that you're assuming that it's somebody else's camera? I see. If you would go over to the CTV stream, right, and you'll see excellent picture quality from everyone, right? So, I don't think that has a problem to do with my equipment if my camera looks shitty to you.
I don't think you want to have this debate CTV because my camera's clearly much better.
You know, you say that.
Oh my god. Hey, my dick's bigger than all y'all. We done now?
You say that, and yet I'm not the one complaining about quality of cameras.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that I have a certain standard for what I show my audience. No, I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, no, the point is that I wish I could play this game that I'm trying to get good at.
But
Yeah.
there is a OBS virtual camera, and it will allow you to
Oh,
stream
there we
what's
go.
directly on yours.
Sure, if you guys
somewhere
want to
else.
see my game, but then you only have like a picture of me in the bottom corner.
Well, I'm just.
What?
I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to figure out. I'm just trying to help.
What
See,
I
okay, let me
use
show you.
OBS and OBS Streamlabs. I have one of them, OBS, that does the virtual cam, and then I can put that virtual cam in anything, and I can still stream games as well with Streamlabs because it's just using the OBS. So it's not like tying up the Streamlabs virtual cam. It's using the
That would
regular
work.
OBS. Yeah, that's what I did. That was like the easiest way without a second cam and all that.
That would
That's
work.
actually
Yeah, my other
kind
camera
of
is just like 1 megapixel.
All right, and with that being said, I think we're ready to go. It's a scalp version today, but I think it will do. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for tonight HippyDippy Recruitment. Hope everybody is having a great Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start with a quick round of introduction, starting by Entizer. So yeah, tell us where people
Well-
can find you and everything, who you are. How are
Yeah,
you doing?
my name's Antiza. I am a progressive Twitch streamer from Australia. I've been streaming for 4 weeks, just to the affiliate. You can find all my links on anywhere, and find me on Twitter, Antiza, at Antiza _. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Antiza, ANTYZER. And yeah, that's it. I hope to have a fun panel today.
Hell yeah. I'm going to throw it to Biggs. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. How is everybody else doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I'm Biggs. I'm a centrist libertarian, I guess is the best way to describe me. I stream on Twitch at Biggs8500. I'm on YouTube and Twitter at Biggs8500. I love just having good conversations with people. I'm hoping that this one will be a fun one. I am a little disappointed that I didn't get on Danabo's list, but I'm always here to help out when I can, and hopefully this will earn me a spot next time.
You can always blame Danabo. I'm going to throw it to Maya. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Working off 2 hours of sleep right now, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm Fanboy Mass on everything. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, anything. I'm like a center-left progressive, not a commie. And yeah, that's about it.
Listen, you're running on 2 hours and Ties are on 4. It's going to be a great panel.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it to Send the Rules. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. My name is Sens Rules, or Spencer. You can call me Sens, and I'm a news/politics/shitposting streamer. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for the B tier rating, Danabo. Yeah, we vibing.
Listen, B stand for best. That's all I have to
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
You can check my rank on every
Oh, and
tier
I'm
list.
I'm a leftist, by the way. Also,
Yeah. I'm going to throw it to Ninetales, who became. Oh yeah, I see you on the corner. How are you doing?
I'm still figuring out my virtual cam. I'm Ninetales. I'm good. Leftist streamer. Trying to be more sciencey minded for the left because science and the left go together very well. So I hope you all enjoy the stream. My Twitter's here, and I'll figure that out once I figure out my cam, so that way you can see it all.
All right.
Hopefully
What you
they
can
get
do in the
their
meantime is
stuff
maximizing
worked
your
out.
webcam on whereby
Yeah.
it will do it only for you. So yeah. I'm going to throw it to Tiberius. How are you doing?
Oh,
My
I'm doing
sound
all
is
right. It's good to
good.
see everybody. If anyone doesn't know me, I am Tiberius D. I study in economics and political
sounds pretty good.
science, and I kind of have this right-wing populist art going on right now, which is kind of fun. As far as that's concerned, I don't really fall into any general definitions of what I actually believe in, so I might throw you for a loop, but it's always fun to be here.
All right. We didn't go North. North and CTV. I'm keeping track this time. How are you doing, North?
You saved the best for last.
No. No. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Ouch.
I thought you meant. Never mind. Sorry. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm North Countryman. I'm an overeducated neocon. Pretty much I'm only on twitch.tv/North Countryman, and I stream when, depression and anxiety aren't kicking my ass. I do have a Twitter, but that's pretty much just articles that I want to cover. So there's interesting stuff there.
All right.
That's about all I got.
And CTV, who seems to be busy. Anyway, we'll go back to CTV, but in the meantime, thank you everyone for joining us. Yeah, and this panel wouldn't be possible without the help of Danabo, so big thank you to him. Twitch.tv/Danabo, he's probably doing the skybox right now. And shellshockcbd.com, code Danabo, you get 10% off your order. So yeah. And now that CTV got his headphones on his head, how are you doing, CTV? You're muted.
Doing pretty good. How about yourself, Mr. Geek?
Doing good.
Good.
All right. So, ready for tonight?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every night is a good night to be ready for the HippyDippy Super Sunday show, right? I mean, like, great conversations, great people.
I don't know they invited me.
And giving you a chance to, say, expand on a character, right, that you might want to build for yourself when going up for the Friday show, right? Obviously, being a bit charismatic helps in your arguments. Being able to control that, right, to be able to hold people's attention, that is definitely a skill that takes time, right? So it's not just about the things that you're saying, it's about how you're saying them and understanding the energy in the room. And then whenever there's positive energy in the room for everybody, right, it allows everybody to be a bit funny, and everybody plays off of each other, which is why any of these things are important, which is why there's a recruitment show, right? So I don't think anybody has quite frankly explained it that way, but that, to me, that's kind of what I think this could be about. Because the Friday show, I mean, people do content way and apart specifically from just this scene, right? We've got people that are in science and technology. We got people that are in art. We got people that are in all these other communities, but they come here to be able to talk and to be able to talk about politics, right? So that's what we're doing. So maybe be a bit creative, because the more fun that you're having and the more fun that other people are having in the room is ultimately going to make what ends up becoming a really, really great show that everybody likes watching.
Hell yeah, well said. And with that, I think we're going to jump into the first topic, which is... give me a sec. All right. So, sorry, the rules. So at this point, I think everyone is familiar. So nothing TOS. If you want to talk, raise your hand. Keep that as the last resort. Yada yada yada. I think we're all, y'all been at least on this show or on the HippyDippy, so you know how it is. All right. So let's jump into the first topic, which is a fun one. Spring, summer, fall, or winter. What's the best season and why? And we're going to start with Tiberius.
No, I knew you would hit me first. That's a little bit of a hard one. I think I'm actually just gonna go with summer because I can actually get out and I can handle the heat. That takes a minute to adjust to, but as long as you got some water and some decency with you, you're pretty good. Spring's nice. Spring and fall's pretty nice. But I don't particularly like how cold it gets at night. And then when you get into winter, forget that. No, to hell with winter. Winter can piss off. So I'll answer it with that.
All right, I'm going to pray to Antiza.
I would say autumn, which is, I guess, to you Americans, that would be fall, right? But yeah, so my birthday here comes around in fall or autumn, and also the best thing is that it's cold enough to wear like jackets and stuff, but it's not cold enough where it's like really annoying. So I can wear like like the trench coat I have in my wardrobe there, and it's just chill. It's like a cool vibe, It's not too hot, not too cold, just chill, and that's why autumn best season in my opinion.
Hell yeah, I'm going to pray to Ninetales.
I'm muted. Okay, so now that I'm unmuted, yeah, so actually, as someone who's ecology minded in the temperate zone, I really love winter because it sets forward a bunch of cycles that you just don't get in the tropical regions. Now, tropicals have their own cool biomes and stuff like that. But the things that you see happen with like the expansion of ice and that breaking apart leaf material and stuff like that leading to the humic soil that we have here, I love it all. And I love the fact that the glaciers were here and that they retreated and did all that. And I'm only going from this because like my personal preferences, like from being homeless and starting HRT, and now I can't handle the heat and sweating anymore. All my personal reasons conflict, but when I look at things from the perspective of ecology, winter is just so powerful and amazing. I love it.
All right, I'm going to pray to Maya.
So it's just winter, right? Like we don't have to argue about it. It's objectively winter, right? Like, oh, it's too cold in winter. Like, come on, suck it up. It's awesome. There's snow. The trees they look cool. Autumn kind of wins in that department though. You get all the good holidays. Like, is Thanksgiving winter? I'm gonna count it as winter, all right? Because it's cold. Christmas is in winter. My birthday is in winter, so it's kind of awesome. For like, yeah, that's it.
Good argument. I'm going to pray to Antiza.
You already thrown it to me, shouldn't you throw it to
Oh, sorry,
Sans?
sorry. My bad.
Autumn's still
No.
the best though.
No.
Alright, something. Alright. I can't do a stream without some sort of massive technical failure. Fall. I can wear plaid and not sweat completely. Plus it lets me grow my beard back.
All right, I'm going to pray to send the rules.
I plead.
What about me?
I plead
So-
based and winter pilled. Sorry, I must make my case right now.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The very passionate issue of mine. My birthday is in winter, and also in less important things. Moving on, we got snow is pretty cool. You can always get like I think it's easier to to get warmer in the cold than it is to get like colder in the heat. I know some like lived like kind of in a desert during college, so in the winter it would get really cold and the summers got really hot. And I always preferred the winter just because it was easier to deal with that. Plus at night too, you get like kind of more hours of light if it's snowy out because the snow reflects everything. So you can kind of have like it's kind of nice and like I don't know, very cozy vibes.
All right, and I'm going to pray to Biggs.
Yeah, so you guys are all just wrong except for Antizer. It's definitely fall, 100%. I mean, you got sweatshirt weather, you got football starting, you got hockey starting, so there's major sports you can watch. You got Thanksgiving, Halloween, like the two best food holidays ever, okay? You got like all the like good like beer drinking weather out and like having a campfire is perfect because it's like the fire keeps you warm but you're not super hot. Everybody else is saying anything but fall is just completely wrong, off base with this. It's fall 100% of the time, no questions.
All right, and last but not least, CTV.
Mr. Geek, if you would, just repeat the question.
Summer, spring, fall, winter. What's your favorite season?
What's your favorite season, folks? There's no way that you can choose between the seasons.
Oh God.
There's no way that you can choose between the seasons, and here's why, right? Because they all have a very special uniqueness to them. You know, in the springtime, it constitutes new growth, right, of the world, right? The greenery's coming out, right? You know,
We need
there's
some of that
connections being made,
background music.
and life is wonderful. It carries you through to the summer where it is fucking hot. You know, it's hot. It could be humid. It could be dry. But you know what? You go through that because that's the only way that you get to fall and then winter, right? You get the contrast of the seasons. You know, I enjoy wintertime because I can be able to wear jackets, right? I can wear, you know, my thick leather. You know, I ain't worried about heat. Like, it's nice to, you know, have a bunch of clothes on for a purpose. But when it's hot, you don't want to do that. You're walking around in biker shorts all the time. You know, workout shorts. You know why? Because it's hot. I ain't trying to be hot, right? So that's why all the seasons are awesome.
It's the season turn.
Summertime got bikinis and Speedos, so I don't know what to tell you.
That's actually a great point, and I think that's where we can start.
See, I had to do all that to get to that, right? See, so, anyway.
With that, you can engage.
Well, just real quick, does anyone here live near the beach? Okay, only 2 people. So why do Speedos matter, right? If you want to look at hot ladies or hot guys in Speedos, just go on the internet, you know? You're not going to see them on the street.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
see,
any
I'm
weather
like,
is Speedo
I'm in the
True.
middle. I'm in the middle of Florida, right? So it's like there's some distance to a beach, and you didn't actually clarify what amount of distance that you're actually talking about, because technically we're all within driving distance of a beach, right? Right. So perhaps some clarification.
Oh, I even
Speedos
like
can be
hike
worn.
down to the beach from where I
A
live.
comfortable driving distance, you know? That you're cool driving it on like at like 5 o'clock, you know?
Yeah.
Also, Speedos can be worn in any other season.
Exactly. You
In my
just
opinion.
find some pics online.
They're not
or
restricted to summer. So,
Yeah. So summertime Speedos is good, right?
yeah, but
Summertime Speedo,
autumn
winter
Speedos can be good as well. Winter Speedos.
Yeah,
We
you
don't
guys got those,
discriminate on the seasonal Speedos.
I mean, that's true.
You got the what is it? The polar challenge. You know, those guys get in speedos and hop in the freezing cold water. I mean, speedos are for everybody, any season.
Oh my God.
Sure. Sure.
Biggs, you know, I was kind of leaning that I might go fall because my birthday's in the fall, and it's some nice times here. Usually, you got Oktoberfest and all that. You did a fantastic job of selling me that fall fucking sucks.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Good, thanks.
Okay, but can we all agree as like a community that summer is like objectively the worst season? It just sucks.
No.
It's
Fuck
horrible. It's so bad. It's so
Okay.
hot and humid.
Yeah, I don't
Ugh.
like that. Yeah, summer's bad.
Yeah.
The only thing good, like I think somebody brought up, was like the bikinis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that's fine, great, whatever. But like, I'm just so uncomfortable, especially if you live anywhere with humidity. That's the absolute worst.
It's literally
worst thing
everywhere,
ever.
unless you're in Arizona and it's 105.
Well, I mean, obviously, like a lot of places have different levels of humidity. So if it's over 50%, usually you're in trouble. Anything under 50%
That's
is not
most
too bad.
places in the United States.
Okay,
I
as
know.
someone who lived in the southernmost part of Mexico, don't steal my valor. All right, most places in the United States are not that humid. All right, it's pretty
True.
nice in most places. Like in Mexico, it would get horrible. You could feel the water droplets clinging to your skin.
The
how
southern
thick it was.
states would like a word with you.
I also live in a
Oh,
southern state, and it's still better.
Yeah, and
How
like
hot does it get in the
honestly,
southern states?
I know I'm supposed to moderate, but did anyone choose spring?
No one cares for spring.
That's when you have to go back to
Gotcha.
school and like,
Allergies.
yeah,
Spring
allergies and
does
all
it.
that stuff.
Allergies, yeah, I have like
That's a point of
Wait,
huge
information.
allergies.
We have definitely confirmed that spring is actually the worst.
spring does have spring break, which does also have bathing suits. So it's
Oh, true.
credit where
Yeah, but
credit's
it's way
due.
too cold, dude. Nothing feels
What?
right.
Spring is cold?
Yeah,
Whoa,
spring too
where-
cold.
What state do you live in?
I live in Indiana.
Why?
Spring is cold.
Okay.
Try
I'm
living
mad.
in Canada. Like, I mean, I'm like in one of the most southern parts of Canada.
Who
and it's
invited
still,
you?
like,
God damn it.
I was gonna say actually, I'm not surprised that Biggs is in favor of fall because that's the only time where the leaves here actually match the leaf on our flag. So, us Canadians are always probably a bit biased towards fall.
Biggs, you're Canadian? I didn't know this.
No, Ninetales is Canadian.
Oh, you were?
No,
Yeah, I didn't think you were Canadian.
Oh, it's because
No.
you've been on the same panels as Layman, and I thought we had like an all Canadian panel or something. I don't know.
no, I do. I mean, I lived across the border when I was growing up. I lived in Michigan for a long time, and I could see Canada from my house, like actually see it, not like Sarah
Oh my
Palin can
God.
see Russia. I could literally
in
see it from my
Windsor.
house for real.
I lived
But-
in Windsor. That's
Reference.
so funny. I actually
Yes.
lived like on the riverside, so I could look
Okay.
out my window every day and see the U.S.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I could probably see almost to like where you live, that if you were close enough. But yeah, I think everybody here just like just fall obviously. But like, what about like what things you got going on? Like, there's a lot. Like I know, like especially when you're younger, like if you play sports, like high school football is going. You have like bonfires and like a lot of cool things are going on, all that kind of stuff. I just think that like just like the whole season just seems like it's just so comfy and just so like I don't know, just something about it just makes me feel good.
Yeah, so I've got like allergies and sinus issues, so spring and fall are absolutely hell for me. Other than that, the weather's generally nice as far as like temperature and climate, because the humidity's not bad. But the only time that I'm stable is the dead of winter or the dead of summer, and that's the only
Do you
time
guys
where my
get
head doesn't start
allergies
pounding.
during? Do you guys get allergies during autumn?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
we have
Oh,
I always get them
a
during
lot of
like spring. That's
I get them in
weird.
both.
yeah. So
You
for
get-
us,
Oh, that's
so for us, especially for like me and Tiberius, because I think we kind of live in like similar like farming areas, they do all this stuff where they kick up the dirt when they're planting and then they kick up the dirt when they're
Oh, I
harvesting.
see, I
So
see.
that just like if you live anywhere near farms in the fall and spring, you just get like hammered by allergies so bad.
I'm like a suburbanite, so
Yeah,
I
the spring
don't
isn't
really have to deal
terrible.
with that.
The spring isn't terrible, but outside of pollen, like if you can handle the pollen,
Yeah.
you're fine. But I have terrible pollen allergies, so it's horrible. In the fall, it's really weird and it's hit or miss. Some people don't hit it at all, but like corn dust, bean dust, all of these other things, they go when they combine them. You can't see it, but I can feel it in the air, and it's actually started lately, and my head has just been pounding. And some people
Okay,
have
that sounds terrible. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, also I live in an area that's like a valley, and so it literally is like a dust. It captures like all the dust, and so I actually have an allergy doctor 3 hours away that knows everyone almost immediately that they live from here by the symptoms that they have because it's that bad. So
I mean, if I were to go to the US, like my favorite season would probably then just change to whatever season my birthday's in, which is in March. So what is that?
Spring, probably.
yeah, it's spring. here.
Spring?
Just
Okay,
everything.
so it even worse.
That's a
Never
good
mind.
time.
Guess not.
I just want to say you're all wrong, and there's a reason why you're on the recruitment and not on the main show. The only correct answer is spring.
Ooh.
That's all I have to say. It's a shit season, but who cares? It's the beginning of the year. Like, that you just passed winter, which is like the shittiest season. Everything
it
is
isn't.
dark.
No, no, no.
Everything,
Last-
everything is
last
dark at
time
6
I
PM.
checked,
There's
January
nothing
1st is in
open.
winter.
Dude, late no late no. I'm gonna speak from Australian moment. Late winter is just seasonal depression. Like you come out of late winter, you're just like, oh my god, life is good. You go into late winter, you're like, oh my god, life sucks. It's always dark. It's cold. I'm crying in bed, although I don't think that's related to the seasons. But
That's a good one.
I don't know. I just like winter. Beginning of winter is fun, but it just gets tiring like over time. Like I come out of it. It's so like I want it to end, and then
I
spring comes
wanna-
up, and then pollen.
I want to qualify why I said winter over spring because when I first started like learning about ecology, I would have thought like spring's great. Like you got all these new flowers, you got all these baby animals being born. It's fucking incredible, right? But no,
Hey, babe.
spring is like honestly just like you can always expect spring to happen. What happens during winter is what you don't know, and has the most impact on like the world you see around you next year. So
Oh, yeah.
just to be clear, like if I were to go on what I might call superficial metrics, yeah, spring's amazing, but spring doesn't actually do a lot for the environment around you. It's winter that really stabilizes things.
I don't care. It's purely psychological. It's purely
True.
like just like you just get out of winter. You just get out of like for fall and all of this shit and everything. Like usually, like on top of that, like September and everything is when everything like kids starts to go back to school, like work starts again, vacation are over, so you know that you're in the like you're working in the shit season basically. Summer, like spring is like basically I don't know. It's just like the renew. You know?
Here kids go back to school at like the end of summer. So it's like
Yeah.
February-ish here is summer. So like I remember like going back to school and being like, oh damn, guess back to this shit again. So I don't know. I like honestly I feel for me at least autumn is like it's like a very happy medium sort of deal. Cause summer gets still hot because I live here. Winter sucks because like I just get sad. And spring sucks because like my nose is dying and my eyes are red, and everyone asks, "Have you been smoking marijuana?" To which I say no. So, like,
just a quick question to you, man. So you guys actually start your schooling in like March and February?
we go from a normal school year like is pretty simple. It's like January to December-ish, or like late February or early February to like late November.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, it's a lot more simpler than what you guys have there. I'm gonna be real, because like it's like you guys start in what September and then you end mid-year. It's I don't quite understand that.
Usually it's the depending on like if it's college or not. It's usually about the third week of August or the first week of September, and it goes until the last week of May.
I don't know. I feel like I'm sure there's like a lot of historical precedent for that. Like you have the farming kids, you know, they gotta go off to farm or whatever, and that's where it came from. Like that's where your years came from. But like.
Wait, I went to school till like the
rich.
middle of June. This is bullshit.
Well, winter's getting shorter.
True.
Oh yeah.
Global warming for the win.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel
my case against spring real quick, okay, and kind of summer to an extent, but the different reasons. Spring is when all the snow melts, and that's kind of gross, you know. That's like if there is snow and stuff, it gets all muddy. It's like that weird slush combination. Yeah,
especially
not
here.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have snow here, so
best season.
Exactly why people got to embrace the Speedo.
Embrace the Speedo.
Embrace the Speedo, man.
The only thing worse than a naked guy is a naked guy who's muddy in a Speedo.
That's the most basic kind of guy.
That's
That sounds like a projection of something.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that also that I think the only seasons that really compete with each other are summer and winter. I'm being honest about this because I think like fall and spring are two like mediocre. They're kind of just like middle of the road.
No.
All right.
I like that middle of the road.
What?
I can be my genuine self, you know.
How can you say that fall is not a good season? It's awesome.
It's not
Because
bad,
I'm
it's
dying
not-
during
It's very. It's so neutral. It's like.
Because
What do
I'm
you mean? Oh,
dying.
you get the pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah,
you
I
got
had one today. I
flannel.
prefer the peppermint mocha. Okay.
Wait, flannels are a good
What the
thing?
fuck are you
Get out of
talking
here.
about?
Stop talking. Damn it.
What else
so
you got
funny.
in fall? It's just cute. Fall is just cute. It's
Yeah,
like
but winter's
it's
like
aesthetic.
You got the winter cling and the summer fling. I can understand the tension between those two things. I don't really understand what the fuck spring and fall have. There's not really much to look forward to in those seasons. I feel like spring is like look forward to rain and allergies. Fall it's like going back to school and midterms and just ass.
Clearly, you don't hunt.
You know what? Your answer just told me everything. Your problem,
Why?
you need to go outside, all right?
You need to go
What
touch
you
grass,
think about- what you think about is school. Like, you need to go outside. You need to look at the trees. You need to smell the flowers.
I just know that's what it's associated with for me because it's like fall.
Go touch
Whereas
grass.
spring, like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
CTV's on it today.
It's so neutral. It's so boring. Fall's so boring. There's no like. The most you could do is like I don't know like.
You know what? You know what you need to
talking
do.
about? They have whole
This is what you need to do.
industries.
Hold on. Whereabouts are you at?
I'm in Washington State, one of the most beautiful states in the country.
Washington State. Look, you need
Yeah.
to go down to. You need to go down and talk to the Fish and Wildlife Service, okay? And you need to get yourself a hunting license or a fishing license, right? And you need to get out there and you need to touch some grass during these times of the year, right?
Well, the fishing
Because
is
that's some of
usually
the
like
that's
limits
some of the
on
most
fish you can
temperate
catch.
climates for human beings to be up and about and be active, right? You see, when it's
True.
really, really cold, it's like fuck that, I'll stay around the fireplace. But when it's really, really hot, you go, fuck that, I'll stay in the air conditioning. So the
Oh, we don't
spring
have
and the
air
fall, right, is like the best times to be out and about. Unless, of course, you're in a Speedo, right? Then the summertime
Yeah,
becomes
then it doesn't
tolerable,
matter.
right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
a pro Speedo advocate here. I think summer's best for
Pro
outdoor stuff. But there's a
Speedo.
lot of fun things you can do outdoors too in the winter, like skiing, snowboarding, like sledding is base as hell. Fucking just walking around the snow. Snow is pretty as hell.
You know what, Sens? The more you
Yeah.
speak, the more I realize how bullshit what you're saying is. All right?
Wow.
My family,
okay.
all right, my family is from British Columbia. That's right across the river
Yes,
from you.
it's right. Yeah,
And
exactly.
winter and spring are some of the most beautiful seasons in that area.
Yeah.
Like everything's growing. It's just beautiful up there, especially during those two seasons. Winter sucks there. It's too cold. Summer is like whatever.
Winter's
Who cares?
beautiful. When it snows, though, it's amazing because also we got like also during winter we have ski season and stuff. We have the mountains open with like passes and shit like that. That's what's great about it for me. Also, it's like you get it's more
Up there, it's
stuff.
basically already snowing in spring. Like you already got that.
Recently.
All right.
Oh, true.
I think with
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say, like-
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, it's Australian latency. I don't know. I've had this issue with other streamers as well. But I was just gonna say, like, climate change is kind of stuffing everything up. So, say goodbye to your favorite seasons. Just saying, they're gonna be different.
Okay, before everyone gets Duma, I think we're gonna go into closing statement where you can explain to Sensei Rules why he's wrong and why the best season is spring. All right, let's go for Biggs.
Yeah, so like I said, it's obvious fall is definitely the best season. There's so many good things about it. The weather's perfect. You can be comfortable in like shorts and a sweatshirt, sweatpants, whatever. You can just be comfortable out and about. You don't have to worry about like dressing nice or, you know, being hot and sweaty and gross. You can definitely chill with people and have fires, drink beers, go see sports, a lot of good sports, all that stuff. And it's just there's whole industries built around fall. You have like cider mills, you've got like donut places, you've got we do like pumpkin patches, like all kinds of crazy stuff, right? So like there's so many things you can do with fall. It's just amazing. The colors of the trees are just beautiful, especially if you live in like the, you know, northern part of America or in Canada. So yeah, that's what I think. It's pretty obvious. Fall's the best.
All right, I'm going to trade to Maya.
It's pretty obvious what the best seasons are. All right, it's autumn and fall. Not autumn and fall. Autumn and winter. They're nice and cold. They're cute. You know, it's just so much better than the yucky, hotter ones. If you had to rank them,
Yucky hotter ones.
winter's at the top. It's no question. It has snow. That's awesome. And my birthday. Fall's got plaid, pumpkin spice lattes, and Halloween. You get to go trick or treating, or if you think you're an adult, you get to go to weird parties where everyone gets wasted and wears like no clothes. And then spring is whatever, and then summer. It's too hot. It's too hot. It's too hot.
I had so much hope. You made so many good arguments for spring, but you decided to betray me.
I put it number 3 at least. All right. That's a olive branch.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Tiberius,
So-
go.
Yeah, so, you know, I think there were some good arguments being made for other seasons, but I think we can all universally agree that spring is actually the worst season of all of them, and that's what we actually have the consensus here, is that all three of the others we can deal with, but spring, fuck spring. Thank you very much.
Listen, I'm starting a collection of like Avenger stuff, and I ordered like Thor's axe. If I had it at this point, I don't know. I would have done something.
Okay.
Sensei Rules.
Calls to violence confirmed.
I'm
Got
gonna
it.
agree with Tiberius real quick.
Yeah,
just
with
to
the plastic
second him.
axe.
Spring is like a big shit. Like once it's over with, it's like much better, right? Everyone's much happier once that's out of the way. I still stand winter and summer. I think winter is the best because you got the cozy fucking vibes and the winter shit you can do. And snow is amazing, and my birthday is also the most amazing. Plus, I love fucking like Christmas jazz a lot. And then summer is just like, you know, it's like the opposite of cozy. You can do whatever the fuck you want. It's all fucking, it's nice and warm out, toasty out, sun's out, guns out, open skies, open thighs. You know, it's like let's go.
Open skies, open
Wear your
thighs. I like
Speedo.
that.
All right, I'm going to trade to North Countryman.
Personally, I like fall, but thinking about it, I objectively, I have to say that spring is actually the best. And the reason being is I was during this discussion.
Mr. Keys going nuts over there.
I remembered a great documentary, Miss Congeniality. The perfect date is April 25th, and that is in spring. So, ergo, it has to be spring. I mean, who's going to argue against Miss Congeniality? I defy you.
Most of these people probably don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
I
quick
will have
question.
to
What the
Google it
fuck is
before.
miscongeniality?
It's a movie.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
There's quite a few
Isn't that a
conversations.
Sandra Bullock
Julia
movie?
Julia Roberts.
Yeah,
right?
Or Julia
there's,
Roberts.
there's quite a few conversations that I would love to have with Sandra Bullock.
I'm sure you would.
With that being said, I'm going
There are times I forget that I'm in my 30s on these panels. I am also an old man.
I'm going to trade to Ninetales.
Yeah, so I'm sticking with winter. Good arguments made for fall, and I do like fall. Winter does. Well, first of all, for someone like me who likes temperate forest, you wouldn't get temperate forest the way you do if winter wasn't breaking up those leaves for you and then making that nice fertilized soil for the plants to grow out of next year. Farmers. But yeah, no, actually, the joke is that like farmers have been trying to figure out how to do that for a long time, and we have this vast ecological phenomenon that does it for us already. I think winter's amazing. Winter is when we see the least amount of violent crime. So that's just a fun little statistic for you.
Cool.
All right. I'm going to trade to Entizer. Please save us.
Gladly. I think spring, to all you spring fans, close second now. Just because of that getting out of winter depression, the feeling when you start to see like more sunlight is just such a relief. But I'm gonna stick with autumn. It's been my favorite season for like a while. Here, winters are kind of boring because we don't get snow. Here, summers are too hot, and spring lays havoc to my nose. But while autumn doesn't, because I live in the suburbs. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with autumn. Spring is a close second, and winter and summer are probably close ties. That's it. That's my piece. Hopefully, I saved it.
I am overburdened.
Top 10 anime betrayal. Did I forget anyone besides CTV? Real quick. No? Okay. CTV. I don't know what was that centrist take that you gave at the beginning, but I don't want any of this. I want a real take from CTV. Go.
Well, obviously the best month or the best season this summer.
It's the
Obviously.
season
But if I've got to choose between fall and winter, because you can at least start getting into your Speedo in the spring, right? As the worst, then I'm probably going to settle on wintertime being the worst. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Wintertime be the worst, summertime's the best, right? But spring ain't the worst, right? So, yeah.
I just want to say I reported you all for hate speech. I think what you did was that. And yeah. Do not follow. So for the people in the chat, do not follow these wonderful content creators. I repeat, do not go and follow them. I think some links will be dropped in chat soon. Don't go there. That's all I have to say.
Switch
Wait a
my
second.
support to
Geek, is what you
spring, I'll
meant?
thank
Is it you wanted to take like this? Is this what you meant? You wanted the high energy. You wanted to be able to have CTV on the mic, owning a motherfucker, and just running over these seasons. Like, is that what you wanted?
No.
Was that the real take? No. Okay, I'm just asking.
All right. Yeah, with that, no, more seriously, go follow everyone on this panel, for everyone in everyone's chat,
Yes, everybody
they
follow
deserve
everybody.
it. Thank you, everyone, for being here, I really appreciate it. And thank you to Danabo for doing an amazing work behind the scene. Every Sunday, every Friday, saving many shows, providing many hours of content. So yeah. twitch.tv/Danabo and shellshockcbd.com. Enter code Danabo, you get 10% off your order. TV, well, you know, do your own research on that. Yeah, and with that being said, I think we're going to enter the real, the serious topic of this show, which is... All right. Hacking has become a topic of discussion in the past couple years. Some hacking is done by government agencies around the world to defend their countries from hackers or for purpose of espionage. Other hackers, like Anonymous, ply their craft to effect social change. Where do you think the dividing line is between good hacking and bad hacking? Is there a difference? And with that, I'm going to throw it to Biggs.
Yeah, so to me, I don't think hacking in itself is good or bad. It's all about what the intent is. I think a lot of like software companies and even hardware companies, they do things like having people try to hack their software to find vulnerabilities. So that's a good side of hacking. Now, if people are trying to hack things like to steal and do stuff like that, obviously that's bad. Where we get in the kind of the weeds is when we're talking about government. So like, what should governments be doing to protect themselves versus interfering with other countries? So that's where I kind of have like a little bit of fuzziness. I would like to think that most places are doing more protective like cybersecurity type stuff rather than offensive. But I think that obviously it's happening and we need to prepare ourselves for the government. Even personally, you should try to be as secure as possible. But I think hacking itself isn't necessarily good or bad. It's just all about the intent. And hopefully most people are doing it in good in a good way and trying to help and not hurt.
All right, I'm going to throw it to Ninetales.
Just let me get my notes up, because in order to keep this frame up, I have to keep or my
Do you
panel
want me to
thing
come
up.
back to you later?
Yes, please. Just next.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
I'm going to throw it to Antiza.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with Biggs in the sense that hacking, for the most part, is a tool. It's more about the effects that it has more so than the... I would say it's more about the effects more so than the intent. On terms of government hacking and what the government should do, from what I remember, the first use of, I guess, like, I don't know, I'm not, like, very geopolitically minded, so I don't know the exact term for it, but, like, IRL, like, warfare done was when Israel attacked a Hamas base because of a Hamas cyber attack, and I think that's like something we can go check out and go over. But one thing in particular which I want to cover is the idea of personal security in terms of what the government already knows about you. So say like the NSA, the Five Eyes, recently in Australia there's been passed like bills which about data protect, like there's been a significant lack of data protection. So firms can hold your data for around 2 years, and the government is allowed to look through that data. Now, what I want to cover is how do we know, like, what happens if that data is breached by, say, private actors or other governments? Like, what effect does that have? And that's why I'm very, like, hesitant to say that hacking is good when it comes to that sort of thing. And also, just in general, I think we should be non-interventionist with hacking, unless it's like, say, like a terrorist organization or something that's not really a state actor. And that's my take.
All right, I'm going to throw it to Ninetales.
Okay, so I made a few points that aren't about the pros and cons, but I think it does come down to pros and cons. Also, the ethics of it, I think the ethics change drastically when we go from exploiting someone's personal privacy and security to talking about reasons we might want to exploit the privacy and security of the government. So just keep that in mind as like my point as to where the line is. It shifts depending on the systems of power we're talking about. So I'm just going to read through these points as quick as I can. I'm not going to add any extra context to them, and sorry if it's a little bit longer than I may have planned. So hackings and guns have many ethical similarities despite having totally different material properties. Unless we can guarantee that hacking and malware will go away, we will always need ethical hacking. Legal systems need to be able to discern ethical hacking intent from malicious intent. So here are the pros. If corporate society were so great, hacking wouldn't be so easy. Instead, profit motives incentivize making low security, high volume commodities. Hacking and self-defense should be legal, as the nations already do it for similar purposes. Having a population that is ready to defend against hackers makes their job harder. What about I'm also thinking, what about guns being used to kill people in self-defense? Everyone is safer if we can hack. Whistleblowing should be protected along with other breaches of security that made it possible. Government secrets will be less secure, but that's good because if you think about anti-vax and conspiracy nuts, they can finally go away. We can teach people how to hack safely. That's like the same with guns, gun safety, hack safety. The only thing that can stop a bad hacker with a computer is a good hacker with a computer. It's a tool of accountability for governments of all political backgrounds. I guess some of these are repetitive. I should have checked them a second time before doing this. Hacking may be the last available tool to help realize the goal of radical leftists. So that's a personal ideological thing for me. Penetration testing is a rapidly growing field, and that's never going to stop. You're always going to need penetration testers to know where the latest vulnerabilities are. I'm a huge fan of right to repair, and I think everyone should have the right to repair. And obviously, hacking circuits and the firmware on stuff is part of that. We can do harm reduction through consumer protection by having a government agency to collect funds. Now, granted, this isn't my radical. This is more of like a reformist point than my more radical points. So I'm kind of straddling both sides of the aisle here. But if we did have a government agency that could pay for like ransomware, for example, that would make it less. That would reduce the amount of victims that are actually targeted by it, like on a personal consumer level. That would also make investigations easier because people would actually go to that administration for help, and it would help people feel and help encourage them to report such crimes too. Companies will have less of an excuse to ignore the securities of their users if hacking. Anyways, the point is that the bigger hacking gets, the less they'll be able to ignore that. Now, I have fewer cons. Could just be through could be my own bias or lack of thinking it through. But anyways, here they are. Cons include
Yes, I'm
countries
playing
continue
some
to
Diablo in the
provide
background,
safe
for
havens for
sure.
hackers. That's obviously a huge issue and
Yeah,
comes into creates a lot of geopolitical
going a little long-winded,
complications.
I would say.
Online life will be critically more dangerous. As a streamer, that matters a lot to me. I can think of a lot of other streamers who will be greatly impacted by that. Scammers will benefit. The last thing we want is scammers having more tools at hacking and like more legal loopholes they can jump through. People's personal privacy will be in danger. That's an obvious one. Can be used for terrorism. That's pretty bad because obviously radical ideologues, there are many who think that they can use terror to push
Can
their
you
agenda.
wrap it up?
Yeah, just two more. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It justifies a more invasive surveillance state, and some security methods have risks of their own. For example, two-factor authentication gets you locked out of your accounts, for example, if you lose your phone. So that's all. Sorry that ran so long.
All right, I'm going to try to send the rules.
What's up?
Yeah, I think I agree with a lot of those points.
Yes, this is kind of like
I also agree with the fact
the
that, like, it's mostly a
the
tool, it's
lead
like a
up.
hammer, you can use it for,
Some
like,
people
both,
do it this
like,
way.
violence or, you
It's
know,
basically just another
productive
panel
violence.
hosted by
I think
Geek
that,
or
a lot
Danabo
of
or
it
sometimes
comes down
CTV,
to,
I think.
We're drawing a line.
But it's just kind of for people to cut their teeth on some panels and debating,
Too. I think it's all contextual based
see how
on the
they
outcome of,
do,
like, the hack and stuff like
kind
that.
of just
Because there's
see.
a lot of cases where, like, hacks are
I was a
really
last minute ad, so I
ransomware
just
is really
I'm
bad,
like the
I'd say.
perennial
There's
fill-in
other cases
person
where
for the
it's
most
used as a
part.
tool
So
to hold authority figures and also companies and governments accountable for things they would otherwise not be accountable for, especially if it's a release of information, etc., etc. So not all. I don't think all offensive hacking is bad if it's like trying to like get in something they're not supposed to have access to because it can hold people accountable. I also don't think that all defensive hacking is like defensive hacking is good because it can also be used to maintain, you know, things that shouldn't be secret or kept from the public or, you know, something along those lines. So I just don't know where to draw the line exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a means of dissent, and so it shouldn't be ruled out or like demonized as a practice at all. But I have no idea like what the line would be. I think it's just contextual for each one. You can't really set a hard line.
All right, I'm going to throw it to Tiberius.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so there is way too many ways to go about this, so I'm going to condense it into a number of things. One is domestic. Now, my boy CTV is probably actually going to agree with me on this one, so I'm going to let him do the legwork on that in the opening slot, and then we'll get into that in the particular. I'm a geopolitical guy, so let's tag that. When the internet became a big thing in the early 2000s, we thought that it was a brave new world, that everyone was going to be able to communicate, everyone was going to be able to operate on a similar level. Freedom of information and technology was going to go through the roof. For a while, that was the case. It looked like the age of liberalism had come full circle and the world was going to enter a new paradigm. Here's the problem. With the rise of big data and the information collection technology, with the rise of the Patriot Act and what we've seen with Communist China and the CRP, whatever, we are at an era where the internet and big data has actually become the ultimate tool of the autocrat. If somebody can come in and watch what you're purchasing, watch what you're doing at every bit of the day of your life, they can almost map out whether you're pregnant without you even knowing about it. And that's on the domestic front. If we're talking the international front, basically the cause of liberty and cause of liberalism is falling apart at the seams. Communist China used to have thriving democratic movements in almost every major metropolitan area. And all the way up until about 2010, we could see that
I don't have any emails
all of a sudden,
yet.
over the last decade, that is absolutely and fundamentally collapsed. And the reason why is now every Chinese citizen has a cell phone, but a government does not agree that they should not tap what is going on with that cell phone. And so anything that has been going on when a Chinese citizen goes, I don't really like the government, and then he gets together with 5 of his friends to say, to plan or to organize or what have you, the Chinese government pays you a beating. And I'm in no uncertain terms to do this. There's numerous examples that we've seen in Russia, Egypt, and the like. The internet is now the biggest threat to human liberty that we've ever seen in human history. And I'm going to end with that.
Maybe I'll get Samantha or Aircraft Sparky or somebody who does illustration. But I haven't really
The question of
looked into
what
it
is
that
right
much.
and wrong and how that applies to the law is something that's been discussed.
Glad you're hanging out, though. I really
by
appreciate it.
Some
It's
of the
very
greatest
fun to have people in
philosophers
here
from around the
and
world
actually
for
somebody to talk
centuries.
to
And looking at this
and have some
panel,
interactions.
we're screwed.
Do you just have a mirror up in your place or something?
Alright, I'm going to pray to Maya.
Yeah, I think it's important to make the distinction between like black hat hackers and white hat hackers, right? One that does it for mainly terroristic reasons, to get illegally gain information, all this type of stuff. That's unequivocally bad, right? I don't know if I have to say this, but getting people's personal data is generally bad.
True.
In terms of
True.
white hat hacking, right? Doing it
I
to
gave my
help with
opinion at the
internet
start. I was the
security,
first one to go.
doing it for the government in places where it might be
it's,
needed, right? For our own cybersecurity.
It's
right?
basically
We may have this idea that the United States should try to keep away from the rest of the world, and we shouldn't be offensive in any way, but we kind of do have to be offensive
whatever
sometimes,
people are
especially
going to do if
given
they're going to
how
hack. It's just a matter of
how much of a target we have on our
intention
backs
and whether or not
sometimes.
you're doing it for defensive or offensive purposes.
Yeah, I think just adding to a point other people were making, whistleblowers are kind of overhyped in a way. I'm going to be honest. Lots of times, whistleblowers do not do it well. All right? Lots of them can actually put people in danger, can reveal things that shouldn't really be revealed. There are proper ways of whistleblowing, right? Like Edward Snowden made sure to classify certain parts that he knew would be important to national security, but he still revealed that information, right? People like Assange, I think Chelsea Manning did the same sort of thing where they just dump and they don't really pay any regard to anyone else. It's pretty dangerous and pretty shitty as well.
All right, and last but not least, unless I'm forgetting someone, CTV.
Ultimately, this all comes down to trust. It all comes down to trust, right? So, trust your fellow man, trust in the government. So then when you see the obviousness of some people's behavior where they decide to start hacking in ways that one ought not do, right? Then it becomes evident that there needs to be law drafted in the legislature, right? So that when these things happen, and we can all agree that these things should not be happening, the law can actually be enforced by police, right? And then those individuals that are accused of breaking said law get brought before a jury and a judge, right, to answer for the charge. The problem happens whenever there are things happening inside the government, which would be the entity that the citizenry would look to be able to solve a potential injustice. Whenever the people don't trust the government itself. And that's why what politicians should be doing is trying to figure out ways as to how to build trust with their local community rather than just trying to legislate from on high. So I'm looking forward to listening a lot. Y'all seem pretty passionate about it, so this should be entertaining.
All right, and with that being said, yeah, you can engage.
There's like one small thing I want to run over to with Ninetales. You mentioned like the government should have like a ransomware fund to like pay off.
Well, it's consumer
people, like-
protection, right?
Oh yeah. I don't know. Like I guess like the way you described it, like how would that work? It's, like how would this consumer protection like work?
Like, how would the government get the money, or how would it work for like the consumer's end?
Yeah, consumers end. So like, would the government like give them money to pay off the ransom?
Well, it would have to be like a pretty quick response. One of my chats just mentioned insurance as well. That's another option we can think
Yeah,
about.
that's true.
But like the way I pictured it originally was, you get the ransomware thing. You call this number, be like yada yada yada, and someone comes down, verifies that you've had a ransomware attack, and then they send that money. Now, don't get me wrong. I recognize that this can be like taken advantage of by scammers or whatever. But I think like the general idea to protect people is more important than, oh no, one or two scammers might get away with something.
I just feel like it, like that might have like a pull factor to it, right? So like, it just makes it a bit more profitable. So there's gonna be like more ransomware attacks which try to like hit a big. I don't know. It's like the sort of
Sure.
like.
I think that the rate of ransomware attacks are only severe if like the amount of victims are severe.
That's fair.
So if we reduce the amount of victims, then I feel like it's mitigating the problem to the point where if the amount of attacks go up, then it's still better than if we didn't do anything.
Oh my god, dog.
Oh, the dog. Yeah, I think the idea of doing that through insurance, it just sounds much better than a government-run thing. Not because I'm some small government guy. It's mainly, mainly because I think if you don't have that buy-in to the system, it does, as Antizer said, it does incentivize that sort of relationship where you just, hey, sorry, as I said, 2 hours of sleep. There's no real repercussions for the ransomware attacker, right? Unless they're caught, of course. But other than that, they can just kind of steal. There's no real buy-in to the system, so almost everyone has that resource available. So I think through insurance, you kind of have that buy-in. So the market doesn't become so bloated.
I read this thing that said there's actually a huge problem with people reporting their ransomware attacks. Like they'll get the money paid, but then once they do that, they just move on with their lives because they don't want anything more to deal with it. I think if this does go through the government, it automatically prompts like greater investigation, like automatically. Like now the government knows and they have due diligence to look into it.
That's fair. I don't know. I just feel like.
Go ahead.
Oh no!
How do you go about solving this problem, though? Right, like, because eventually you're going to have to set up barriers within the network so that traffic can be monitored, right?
The problem is that this rapidly becomes like, who watches the watchers conversation, because either you let everybody kind of do their own thing, and the problem is the vast majority of people have no idea how much they are at risk of having their data stolen, how much they're at risk of just downloading any kind of malware or virus or any kind of infiltrationware. That's one problem. Now, if you take it where the more state apparatus, where you're like, hey guys, let's have the government come in, or let's have the institutions come in, where they're going to monitor what traffic goes through. Anything and everything that you use from them is now a target. And so, if somebody hacks into, a great example here in Indiana is that Anthem, Anthem, which is one of the biggest healthcare providers in the country, got hacked, and 93 million Americans had their private information stolen. Yes, this is an incredible amount of threat, and the problem is no matter which way you go about it to try to defend it, it's an open avenue to get it to somebody else.
I definitely agree with that. I think that like hacking can have like super harmful action with that. But I just feel like, so do you have like a generalized distaste towards it, or is it just like a, oh, if it's used in a bad way, I don't like it sort of deal?
Are you talking about me personally?
Yes, personally.
I understand, like, there's a level where, like, you know, we're gonna have to live with this if we want to keep the internet, and that's fine. I'm not advocating to get rid of the internet, right? The problem that I have is that I've had multiple panels on this with Mascot Conversations. One of them was the big IT panel. And the problem is whenever people say the term internet security among IT professionals, the general reaction is laughing.
Yeah.
What we do not even have a fundamental solid theory that isn't scary as holy hell in how to defend against hacking in any kind of regard. We literally don't. We have put
you'd have to
ourselves,
go super authoritarian on it.
and that's
I
the
mean
worst part.
super
Yeah.
super authoritarian. Like,
And the worst part is, even if you go that route, if an institution such as a corporation or somebody who wants to do you harm is trying to metagame the information itself, they can screw you. We had an example, just, you know, I brought it up earlier. Target had an algorithm that figured out who people were pregnant just by what they were buying and when they were buying it. On top of that, you know, you have the United States government. We actually have, you know, civil rights and all this. Other governments do not. And the problem is that if somebody can actually get into that data of what you are doing, they can humiliate you on a fundamental level. I don't want to give any kind of like personal information there, but just imagine like the most crazy thing that you do on the internet, a purchase that you have. I don't care. Maybe it's your porn usage. I don't give a shit. Is that somebody can get that information and let all of your personal enemies or your society know that you do that. And that has been actually one of the biggest things we've seen in the intelligence community, and coercing people to be collaborators, friends, or allies, whatever words you want to use that, is that they come in, they find something personal, if you have some kind of power, and they just extort you for either $400 or for a ride or what have you, to help you engage a foreign intelligence agent into helping them get their greater means.
Yeah, so that, I guess, like, you've like linked it to what I was mentioning
Sorry,
about
I'm just distracted by
data
playing
protection
Diablo.
laws, like in terms of government.
But it's fun.
So like you have like the NSA, and I guess here it's ACO, you know, like spying on you, essentially just keeping your data and having the right to take data from private entities as well, such as corporations. So I'm like, I used to be very lax on this sort of thing, where it was just like, oh yeah, they have my data, it makes my experience better, like online, I guess, like I get better Google search results and stuff, which is true, like I do, but like I guess it comes at the I guess there needs to be like significant protections on that data, rather than it just being like, oh yeah, the government can take it at any moment's notice.
One thing that
sorry,
I didn't mean to cut you off. Just one
No,
thing
it's all
I'll say about the United States versus the Europeans. The Europeans have done data protection laws that, while I do question to some degree, at least gives them the European citizen, and I believe the Aussies have something similar to this too, where you can't come in as a corporation such as Facebook and YouTube and sell people's data to other corporations. The United States hasn't done this yet, and it's something I'm very much upset with my government on. Is that any American citizen can have any of the data that Facebook collects from me or YouTube collects from me, and they can sell it to any third party that they desire.
And see, this is a huge problem with like how the profit model incentivizes companies like Facebook to focus more on things that like people can directly see. Like people can directly see that they made a new, I don't
Why does
know,
there need to be protection on public
news
data?
feed feature or
Data that
something
you're
like
literally
that.
giving away
But
to
they're not
people
going to
seems
see
crazy.
that you
That's
did
true.
protections against hacking because most
I
of that
think it's
happens
more
on
of
server
like
side
making
anyways.
people more aware
So,
of like what they're actually like
corporate
releasing.
responsibility, I think,
'Cause
for
I think a
like
lot of people
people's
just don't
personal
even
safety
know.
on the internet is everything, because we're always using corporations to access the features and services on the internet. And yeah, I think like that accountability should be like, say like one person gets hacked, one account gets hacked on your platform, then you should be held as if like 10,000 people are about to be hacked on your platform, held accountable in that way. You should have already had that protection, and the fact that you don't is a crime. Now, like again, like I'm not talking
Right?
about
I
knowing
know,
exactly
right?
what
Facebook,
reforms we need
for
in
sure.
the legal system and stuff like that for that to happen, but I definitely think that people aren't putting enough personal responsibility, or not personal. Well, I guess they're like people, so but responsibility on the corporations.
I mean, a lot of like I guess like account hacking, say like your Twitter account got hacked, isn't necessarily through like they physically like I guess like they forcefully get into your account. A lot of the time it's that they misdirect
If you're
you
using
into
a
logging
product and
in,
you're not paying, you
and
are
they
the
can get like
product.
your
Oh yeah,
details from there.
that's definitely
So
the
I
right
guess like
way to
in
think
that
about it.
case, it's a bit like iffy. Like a lot of the time, I'm not trying to victim blame or anything. Like sometimes, like a lot of the time, if you got your like Facebook account hacked or whatever, it's kind of your fault. Like you've either logged into somewhere like fishy or I think I think from what I
I
remember
just
and
use
from what
like
I
a single
understand.
account.
Oh
Just
yeah,
to be
I
clear,
mean,
I
I
only use
did-
like a
yeah.
single account example just to set up like
Yeah.
a matter of proportionality. That for
Yeah,
it's a
okay,
single
okay.
account, you should be treated as if like you let a 10,000 accounts get hacked because you ultimately
And-
did by having a
I agree with
vulnerability.
Lantos.
And Sizer, I've got to side with you halfway, and I've got to fight against you halfway. There's a
Oh,
level
God,
here
go
where
for it.
people do not engage with any kind of security. People that have password as password, we need to stun them a little bit, right? And there's definitely a shitload of people do it, particularly older people. Here's the part where I have to go against you. There's a lot of effort done into phishing accounts, and particularly I've had to deal with PayPal as a normal. You'll get emails that look like they're from PayPal, and they'll like the only thing you'll catch is literally like one thing in the user URL code that will tell you that it's not actually PayPal, but everything looks legit, looks official. I've almost hit it twice, and then I'm like, wait, why is PayPal trying to do it this way? And I've actually had to catch it where I'm like, this isn't PayPal. Shit. And I know so many other people are not going to be that high level of scrutiny where they're going to check that and they get nailed with it time after time and again.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, we
Like,
have
I'm-
to be honest with
yeah.
ourselves that the people
This
who
is
are going to
the
make money
quote
off
you
this,
are
and there's a lot of
looking
people
for.
who do it very well.
I just want to push back against something Ninetales was saying a bit earlier. I do think that companies don't want hacking to happen, right? And I think a lot of times they do put effort into it, and there is a reasonable consumer pushback whenever big hacks happen, right? Although with Facebook, it isn't hacking specifically; it's more just what they do with their data, right? Everyone knows that Facebook is kind of iffy with data, and if you ask most younger people, no one wants to use Facebook, right? Facebook is almost dead in the younger demographic, right? Because of those how Facebook uses data. So I think companies are aware that consumers are worried about that, and them not taking care of that is a fault of the company, right? And they'll probably lose their money. Which,
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure. What I meant is that like they're not going to do literally every single thing they can to protect your account because it's not in their like it's going to cost them money at some point.
Yeah.
And I think
I can
actually
talk
like
about
a lot
this.
of these companies are incentivized to hide when they're hacked because they want people to just feel more secure on there. So
Right.
if they can cover it up, they will. If they can keep it within their own IT company or group or whatever, then they will.
And even if they can't cover it up, they can like a lot of times a lot of these punishments for these the 2021 Facebook hack that had like 533 million users' data compromised. That was resulting in a couple $100 million fine, which for $1 billion company, that's not that much. Like that's not gonna like really set them back anything. At the end of the day, it's like almost like it's still more beneficial to not address the issues that you have on the company side of like holes that could be exploited by hackers, and instead like if you just kind of deal with what it is and then just continue to pay these fines as they come. 'Cause as much as I do believe that the user opinion does change slightly, there's not really a lot of competitors in the market for Facebook. A lot of these companies have like in some ways a monopoly on social media. There's not a way that like I think that any sort of boycotting and shit like that's gonna change anything with these companies. It has to be some sort of top-down thing.
Yeah,
Well,
100%.
there's also-
I
Oh,
just want to
yeah.
ask, like, do you know the details of that specific hack? Because although the fine seems small, like for all I know, it could just be like a standout thing, right? They had all those holes covered, but the hackers were just better, right? I don't think you should be fined a crazy amount because the hackers got the best of you, right? If there are obvious flaws that you as a company could have taken care of, then maybe those fines should be placed.
Well,
But
they
if there
also
is
like, it
no,
wasn't just
yeah.
that. They also like downplayed it they knew about the hack having happened and they didn't release it to the public or let anyone know for like a month. So that's part of the thing too. Like, I don't think there's an incentive there for them to be open and honest about that kind of thing. because one, I don't think the punishment's harsh enough, and I also don't think that like
Feel the same way
it's
about Amazon with
profitable
this
to
data.
address- to
Had all those
spend more
holes
time
covered,
addressing
but
that kind of
hackers
thing.
got the rest of
It's
them.
easier just to placate your
Yeah,
audience. Be
they
like,
weren't
we're
covered.
Changing things.
I mean, to be fair, there's really no surefire way to like completely protect everything.
Individuals that are
Whenever you have
that's it.
accessibility,
Is there any
because you have to have
policy out there
accessibility,
which
there's going to be ways to get in.
sort of
right?
like
So it's
says
just
like
the nature
there needs to
of
like
the
say
beast.
it like I guess how I'd from this is like just a thought I had, but how I'd like address this using policies that you could have like specific companies being part of like you like put companies in a tier list, right? And say in a certain tier there needs to be government enforced like security checks and stuff like that to make sure that like hacks can't happen. Is there anything system that
I can't speak to Oz, but I can definitely speak to the United States. When we're having a big conversation about this regarding, particularly the last election, that's Section 230 reform, but it's also in the
How's it
way
going,
that we
Ghost?
have communications. There has been a big chat, although everyone is scared to touch it with a 10-foot pole, of integrating the internet
Dunk on
into the
these
FCC.
nubs. Yeah.
And actually having social
not really
media
a very,
and telecommunications brought in under
it's
FCC
not a combative
guidelines.
topic,
So
so it's
people
not
have to
so
monitor
bad.
what is posted, what is monitored, what is transferred. There's a reason no one wants to touch that one because it's political as holy hell.
But why?
Real
Yes.
quick,
Why
real quick,
haven't we
real
done
quick,
that?
Like the way
real quick. Maybe we should have gone over the rules. North has to go, so he will be replaced. But yeah, North, shout yourself out and everything, and thank you for being here.
Dunk.
Yeah,
Good meeting,
Twitch.tv. I think, yeah. Twitch.tv, North the Countryman. You got the Twitter link and everything. Thank you for being with us, North, and yeah. And with that, we're going to welcome. Is he here already? Not yet, but anyway, sorry. So yeah, whoever was talking, go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess the way I'd envision it is sort of like safety rules on a building. So like the building like has to be a certain has to use a certain beam or whatever, and it can't use certain materials. So like that's sort of how I'd envision this sort of like safety rule to work out. So you might have like government like code crackers like try to break into the system and act as a sort of white hat hacker, and then I guess that also belies situations where governments might leave certain like holes in the code and stuff like on purpose, but I don't know. It's I don't know, it's just a thought I have. Is there any like sort of regulation on that? Because I'm not aware.
There's usually.
So-
Oh, go ahead.
I just when Tiberius gets a chance, can you tell me what the politics are and why the FCC isn't getting integrated with the internet? Because I'm actually curious.
Oh,
Well,
100%.
Because
Yeah, go ahead, CTV. Actually, you might know this one.
well, anytime you're trying to control anything, right, it does in fact come down to some real physical lines to get laid, right? And the only way to be able to stop people from being able to hack through a system by a network, right, is you have to control the gateways. So if you're wanting the government to get involved, like imagine, say, like all the network within a city's jurisdiction ends up having a centrally located spot in the city, maybe called the the city network hub, right? And then there's lines running from there to the state, right? And then there's the state network hub, and then there's the one going to the federal, right? And then now there's a federal network hub, right? And then information leaves the country. That's what it would take in order to stop hacking. That's what you'd have to do. It'd have to be like all the way down. So
I'm not gonna 100% go with that, but
Sorry
okay.
to cut you, Tiberius. Keep
Fine.
what you want to say in mind. I just wanted to say welcome to Grandpa Steelskin. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing? And you're muted.
you're so muted. It's awesome. Now he's looking for a microphone.
All right, while Grandpa is looking for his microphone, Tiberius goes.
Sure. So I'm not
Looking for his
gonna
microphone.
100% agree with CTV on
That's
that, but
so
I'm not
funny.
gonna 100% disagree with it. He's got a point. It's just there's been a big conversation on how we're gonna integrate
Yeah, right.
protections.
Not
Some of
many
it is
networking
more
cables on the
centralized, very
submarines.
authoritarian shit, where basically you have to run all of your telecommunications through a central hub
Oh,
to be
I like
monitored.
Grumple. Don't be mean.
You know how people take their security and their privacy.
No.
Whenever the government has that level of
That's funny.
interaction to see anything and everything that you're doing, people are going to freak the fuck out. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here. People take that level of thing very seriously, and that is going to be a political fight on a level of abortion. And I'm not kidding when I say that. That will be that toxic of a fight. That is why that conversation has gone nowhere quickly, is that no one even wants to touch it because it's like Social Security or abortion. They don't want to even engage with it because once it's an issue, it doesn't come off as being an issue.
Although, can I just ask, because the FCC doesn't, like, unless you're trying to like broadcast, the FCC usually doesn't like interact with civilians. They interact with like institutions, from what I know. So like, wouldn't the same thing apply here, where it's more like the FCC is enforcing regulations on companies and stuff like that, rather than like trying to monitor people's data? Because I don't think they monitor. I don't think like all walkie-talkie communications have to be monitored or anything like that. So I think that when we do this, controlling the actual data flow isn't as important as regulating the companies that do control the data flow.
Let me jump in. Hi, Grumplestiltskin here. Everybody's looking very sexy tonight. You got me for about 20 minutes now, half hour, maybe at the max. I have a hard cutoff. So the FCC, just saying, the FCC does handle enforcement of regulations over the air. You're not going to run into that for wired communications. And they're only going to be involved with generally your normal civilian people for like ham radio transmissions. That's really all it is. And generally it's a self-policing community. Like there's not going to be any sting operation about pirate radio broadcasts. It's going to be ham radio operators in the area saying, hey, FCC, here's a problem here. And then they're going to come and investigate. That's usually as much as the FCC. The NSA, however, is going to gather all your information all across the internet.
That's not entirely true, right? Because the FCC does handle cable television and stuff like that.
I was actually going to get there. And just to kind of bridge the gap here, Grumble's not entirely wrong here. There was a point that I wanted to get into, which Nighttail's hit, which is about a lot of wired communications are now falling under the purview of the FCC because it's easier to do fiber optic than over the air. Most of your cable TV that your parents watch, because we're all too young for that shit, comes through a wire. It doesn't come over the air anymore. That's actually been about 10, 20 years ago that became the norm. Anyway, where I was going to go with what Ninetails was talking about is that you hit the pro side of the argument very well, is that when it comes to like how this would be enforced is that some people are like, okay, you don't have to manage traffic nearly as we have to manage the people who run the traffic. So Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, that kind of thing. We put the bonus on them, and the FCC basically acts as like the harbinger of death for them.
We agree.
That's kind of been the general approach. Excuse me. There is so much to talk about when it comes to that. I don't know where to start. And it's not that it's a horrible idea, but it's just huge. You could literally make this the entire rest of the show.
The FCC also wouldn't be the purview of what Facebook is doing with the data or any of these services. I think that's not. Now, disclaimer, I didn't do an opening statement. I am in the industry. I don't think that's under the purview of the FCC either. The transmission, plausibly, yes. And the transmission is where the NSA has interest. What the entities do with your data, there's two very different pieces here. The services that are provided, as in like your Facebook, your Google, your end services that you use, and then how you get to them, how you touch them. Now, what I do primarily for my main gig is the how do you get to the services piece, network, full stack infrastructure.
We are talking about hacking,
the FCC
and
is going to be
cybersecurity, and how the government's
treating them
involved.
the same. They're different pieces.
Basically, all about
how you get
internet
there,
communications.
which is what the internet service
The actual
providers.
topic's supposed to be hacking, but
their
it's kind of
piece
gone
of the
off.
puzzle is, and then the actual services that you're using. You're not going to see what your ISP is doing. What you can see and touch. What Ninetails was talking about earlier, the piece that you can see and touch, new stuff in your feed, that's all stuff that the service, and there's a lot of similar nomenclature that's used for both. So it's easy to get confused between them too.
Yeah, and like for me, it's like what you're saying makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure it's definitely the case. Just I think that like what ought to be is that this should get extended for the FCC, and the FCC should be able to overlook all of this because ultimately, no matter what, this is communications. Even if it's being stored on Facebook servers, someone's trying to communicate something, or Facebook's trying to analyze their communications. Maybe like the metadata they store about like users and stuff like that will come under like a different jurisdiction that has to be like dealt with a different institution. But like the way I see it is like if I make a post, even if nobody sees it, it goes to nobody else's computer, but it goes to like Facebook servers. I still like try to initiate a communication, and
You did make a communication if you hit post.
right, and so I think even if like even though well first it had to be transmitted, and now Facebook has that information stored. Let's say we can't get the FCC to be like the ones who like deal with like what's going on there. We still need something to say like, okay, you're still responsible for that information, Facebook. You still have to handle it with care.
Theoretically, that does exist, and there are different regulatory bodies for each type of data. Like you have HIPAA, and then there's Sarbanes-Oxley, there's PCI compliance, and then there's different certifying bodies. Each one has different requirements, and usually the entities will have audits. Also, they're supposed to be like I don't know if all industries
I don't know
or
what
all privately
they
held
actually
companies
want.
are
It's interesting.
under jurisdiction, but you can see there's
script
breaches
kiddies
every
are
day.
awesome.
There's like if you go to Threat Post, like this is just industry stuff.
Yeah.
You can see who's
I didn't even make the list. I'm too good for the list
because they have to make a public announcement. For it.
Also, there's just those sites that tell you like the latest vulnerabilities to be found, which is actually good because it means that you can defend yourself by keeping up on them. But it does show like they're finding new vulnerabilities at least every week.
Well, what was the topic that we were, because good hacking and bad hacking is like an incredibly broad, even just defining the term hacking, it depends on the context of the crowd you're in. What are we talking about, just so I'm on the same page?
The problem was that it was left vague so we could take it what direction we wanted to. And part of it was the domestic front on where we were talking about like general controls and where people were drawing the lines on what good hacking and bad hacking was. That's where some of it started. Some of it went down the lines of what should we do because I brought up domestically how much hacking and personal internet data security is a threat to not only your livelihood but your very liberty. And then I also, for me personally, since I'm the geopolitical guy, I talked about how like China can come in and just literally just take your data and say, oh, well, they're meeting tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Let's go pay them a meeting. So there's just a lot of these things that we can get into, and it's nebulous because we can really pick and choose what we're going to go and like how we feel about it.
Yeah, I even said that like if you support guns, you should also support hackers, and nobody's even touched that. To be honest, it was very sad.
I thought it was
That's bizarre.
Okay, so for Tiberius's point, now here's the thing is how do you deal with that? Because just this is generally what the thing is. The most common, I believe, the most common still scam right now isn't anybody going and brute force cracking anything. It's you get an email.
It's phishing.
That says, it's
phishing. Yeah,
both phishing and spear phishing. But the general person who's not like a CEO or some vulnerable positions is going to get, hey, we recorded you while you were on some website doing adult things in almost decent English kind of grammar, and we're going to send out this thing. Now I know Tiberius explained that, but that's not generally going to be coming from somebody in the United States. So that whether that's being counted as domestic, you can't regulate. Yeah, okay, you can regulate it all day long. You can make laws about it all day long. How do you enforce an unenforceable law?
Yeah, and that's actually where CTV's last statement got in, is that the way to actually fundamentally do that is to build centralized hubs that everything has to run through, whether it is run by your city municipality, whether it's run by your state, or whether it's run by the federal government, is that there's either one or multiple central collection points that are distributed or basically distribution hubs I can't talk today. I'm sorry. Distribute. Yeah, whatever. They're
Distribution centers.
Thank you. Yes, they're hubs of
Distribution
communication,
centers.
and everything has to go through those lines. Now, the good side of that is
No,
you can monitor literally everything that goes through them. You can
Ninetails
check-
was saying
you
that
can hit child
it's good,
pornographers, you can hit
actually,
all
in
that
her
shit.
opening. She was
But
saying
it's a
it was good.
massive and absolute breach of everything that we call of personal liberty and human rights as far as what information is allowed to go there. And what's even worse is that
now, yeah.
yeah. What's even worse, what that we haven't brought up, is even if the people who are doing this are actually on the level, if somebody gets into their shit, they now have access to everything. So it's a double-edged sword in the highest possible degree.
The more places that your data is, the more places it's stored and the more places that it's communicated to, that's more opportunities for both good intentioned and bad intentioned people, forces, whatever. If the entity that you're dealing with is bad faith, we'll just use that as the word, then they can sell it or mine it or exploit it somehow. Or if they just don't store it, and I'm not even going to say appropriately because there's no perfect system, if they don't store it offline, there's always a risk that somebody else can go and get it.
Yeah.
And especially with the cloud services right now, where almost everything's going to that's making it so much worse.
Like LifeLock. Hey, yeah, you give these people your information. I mean, hey, yeah, that's an insurance policy, but then all your information's in one place. And then if somebody gets into LifeLock, then your social and all your credit cards and your mother's maiden name and your first dog and your street and all that stuff it's now out in the wild.
Yeah, really is.
We kind of
so then the only solution is just to hang it all out in the wild, right?
Kind of, but there's personal. I mean, this is a personal responsibility argument. We kind of do what CTV was saying. We kind of do exist with
more places you
they're
go
called
shop,
central
the
offices,
higher risk you are
the
being
ways-
robbed. True.
and it's not organized by government,
true.
but just by the way of how the internet came to be. The central offices are these buildings with bricks and no windows, and you see like Verizon or AT&T trucks in front of them. That's the actual physical wire that either goes to your house, your building, or wherever, or to the cell towers. They go to these big buildings called central offices, and then those big buildings are connected together. That's the internet, basically. Those are the tubes. The series of tubes is those buildings called central offices linked together. And there's major ones and minor ones with very big pipes between them, tubes between them.
That's what she said.
So that already kind of exists.
Very big pipes. Yeah.
It's called the black closet or the black cage. It's where the NSA has their gear. Yes, everything's being caught in transit. How much trust do you put into... Like, I'd recommend everybody use a VPN, but how much security theater is it? It's all about, if you don't put information out somewhere, it's much harder for it to be compromised. And so that's just personal responsibility. If you use Facebook, anything you put on Facebook, consider that compromised. I mean, that's the only way to really deal with it. Sorry, I'm the doomer boomer here.
No, I'm 100% with you, man. I hate to be that way, but there's not a lot of doctrine that I've actually seen in how to actually handle this in any constructive way that isn't just a massive threat. And I mean, it goes back to what I said right before you got here. Whenever I talk to IT people about the term internet security or data security, the general reply is laughing. And I hate that one.
Like, there's not even, okay, there's been a talent shortage. I've been on the hiring side of the desk a lot just in the last 10 years. There's been a talent shortage just on people to both design and implement, to maintain, do daily operations, just at that level, like the level that I do and manage and stuff. There's a talent shortage, extreme talent shortage. If you're talking about people that do the security piece, there's a lot more money in it, and there's a lot less to it. You can get a security gig not being woefully underqualified. The only way to keep your own shit safe is to not put it out there, really. That's just the story of it. And the thing is, it's convenient. Yeah, it's convenient. Yeah, I get my sister's wedding pictures. Cool. But everything that goes along with it.
Like in reality, there is no like perfect system that you can implement outside of like your own company or whatever. You have to hire pen testers. You have to actually like find your vulnerabilities and do something about them. And while it won't be perfect, the idea is to do as much as you can, so that way it's as difficult as possible for them to get in. like when we look at like ransomware and stuff like that, I think having legal loopholes for white hat hackers who are hacking ransomware people, so that way they don't get thrown under the legal bus as well, is crucial. Because if they're afraid of other hackers, and those white hat hackers are helping vulnerable people make their systems more secure so they don't get scammed, then the feasibility of being a scammer in the online world goes down quite a bit.
Hang on, just there. That's already accounted for. If you have a legal document, a contract with somebody, you can do whatever you want. You're not hacking. You're not doing anything illegal at that point. By the crime is doing something without permission.
No,
If
no,
you're
I'm
a,
talking
you're a
about
quote, white hat and you're doing pen testing and you're doing security for somebody on contract, you're
Yeah.
not. There's nothing legal that can happen to you for it. It's
I wasn't talking about
You're
that. I'm saying
following
like if your grandma gets hacked by ransomware people and you decide to like find out who they are, then like I really think that we should have legal loopholes for somebody who's essentially trying to hack the hackers.
for revenge.
Or revenge to get them to remove the ransomware from their grandma's computer, etc.
Removing the ransomware, I mean, that's your own property. Going and then launching a
15
counterattack,
second
that's
delay.
the same
Oh,
as
yeah.
like, hey, somebody robbed my
For
house.
sure.
Well, if you're in defense of like using lethal force, I mean, I'm talking about Texas now, not the whole rest of the communism. But if you're in
Communism.
Texas, if somebody is in your house and a threat, or you believe that you will not be able to retrieve your property at a later time, yes, lethal force. I'll keep that. Lethal force is authorized basically legally, but you can't go and then hunt down after the fact. You can't go and hunt down somebody and go and shoot them and get back your shit. At that
Yeah,
point,
that's like the
it's
worst
law
facial
enforcement.
interpretation of what I meant, though.
But
I
it's
meant
it's a similar thing where if it's during the event of, that's defense kind of. If you go then and launch a quote counteroffensive to the hackers, that's not only you then taking offensive action, that's probably going to be an international incident because it's not people in.
Yeah, and I recognize that. I'm talking about like, say we don't have any system that we like feasibly can implement to stop scammers who are hacking and putting out ransomware, then maybe we would need to rely on the good hackers to get rid of them. You know, it's like the same thing as a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun.
Getting
the thing
rid
is
of
that
them. To be clear, like, what do you mean by that? Like, how would we get rid of them?
How does a
No,
good
we make
hacker
their job,
stop a
we
bad
make it
guy?
more difficult for them to do that. We make it more of a vulnerability for them to do that. Because for all they know, someone's grandma's son knows how to hack, and now they don't have to. Now that grandson doesn't have to worry about being put through the legal system because they did vigilante justice, sure. But I think on the internet, if there is no better system in place, vigilante justice is what we need.
It's not you're not talking apples to apples here.
Yeah.
The good guy with the gun stopping a bad guy with a gun, that's an in the moment, that's an at that time thing. What you're talking about, we call it blue team and red team. Blue team is your white hats or your security professionals. Your red team is your pen testers, your bad hackers, that type of stuff.
Pen testers are part of the bad team? What?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're in an organization, if you're doing the pen testing, it's just called red team. If you're on the attack side, it's called red team.
Oh, attack. Okay.
Yeah, red team versus blue team. It's like I think it goes back to Halo, honestly. But the blue team and the red team are not going to It's not like a movie where the red team and the blue team are like counter hacking each other and stuff like that. And let me run. Blah, 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 blah. It's the blue team is going to have stuff set up. It's like a tower defense game more like. The blue team is going to have stuff set up and their defense towers and stuff like that, and the red team is going to be the monkeys that come in and try and get through to steal the banana.
I thought it was balloons. What the hell?
Yeah.
Whatever. I was trying to get there.
Nah, I got you.
Yeah,
You gotta
I don't
protect
know. If
your
you say
balloons.
racist, I mean, if you say monkey, that's kind of dicey because it's like borderline racist.
Whoa, God. You're such a leftist piece of shit. God damn
I'm just
it.
trying to be politically correct. What?
But yeah,
It's all for you, Tiberius. It's all for you.
All right. With that being said, I think we're gonna go into closing statement for this topic because I know that Grumple has to go. Thank you for joining us, by the way. And
We need to do it again.
That's fun.
hell yeah. And yeah, Grumple, since you have to go, do a closing statement and shout out.
Real quick, I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's like
I gotta
red,
go
blue,
give my wife
fucking,
an injection.
Halo
All right.
bullshit. Red
All right,
Can we just have a
Grandpa,
moment
go
of
ahead.
silence for
Tiberius
CT's
is face right
What?
now,
Can we
right?
just have a moment of silence for the Wolficorn injection that she's about to receive in a sensual manner?
All right, all
We're
right.
talking about a medical thing, right? And
I didn't say
Tiberius is
anything
face.
otherwise.
I went straight to the gutter. Straight
Oh,
to the
man,
gutter.
that's
I didn't
funny.
say anything otherwise. He's going to be very gentle and caring and do it nice and slow, but at a medium pace.
All right, all right, all right. Grandpa,
Okay,
closing
I do-
statement and shout out.
Okay, Grumple, I do stream Grumple Stiltskin with 2 eyes. It's not like there. I'm sure they'll shout it out on the channel. I do mostly organizing and ASMR type content lately, where I use my soothing, dulcet tones to talk about things while
There we go.
organize stuff into boxes. It's supposed to be security and building stuff, but I'm not in a workshop right now, so that's what we do. That's what we get. I'm doing it on Twitch. And I do network security mostly for my day gig. But y'all stay sexy.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and you have a good one. All right. I'm going to throw it to Ninetales.
Okay, yeah. So for those of you who didn't catch on, my gun's take it's mostly a joke. I still think it'd be an interesting discussion to see if like the justifications we make for like having guns to keep society safe fall apart once we try to apply them to like hacking. Because I actually don't think they're all apples and oranges either. I think it's a Granny Smith apple and a Red Delicious apple. So
I
yeah,
kind of agree with that.
Overall, we need to do something. That's the key thing. If it comes down to having vigilante justice to stop this ransomware from getting out of control because the government's too incompetent to actually put together a system that works, that's fine. Actually, I prefer that over ransomware attackers having free reign. So that's my position. And had a fun night, fun talk on this one. This was a good, this was a cool topic to have. I forgot there's one more.
All right. I'm going to throw it to Tiberius.
Yeah, so I hate to be the harbinger of bad news here, but when it came to this particular topic, there's not a lot of good news to go around. It is incredibly dangerous, the level of power that hacking now has and the amount of data that we put out on the internet, both personally and professionally. It is enormous, and the consequences of that have yet to fully be exacerbated by the people who actually make decisions and even understand what is going on. So, that is the bad news. I'm sorry to bring that to you. Here's the hopium if you want. You can do a little bit yourself. You know, every time that you decide that you're going to be on the internet, be careful what you post. Now, I put everything up that I have because I know that it's largely going to be accessible. I have my personal location, my city, on Twitter. I'm okay with people knowing that because you still have to go to this hole in the wall of 18,000 people to screw with me. So I'm not terribly worried about that. But be mindful of what you are doing. That is the real key here. If you post your bank information when you buy something on Amazon, that is now under threat. That is now something that they can take. If you post personal information, if you ever send a nudie pic, any of this shit, the reality is that somebody can get to it. So be very careful. And I'll end with that.
All right. I'm going to throw it to Biggs.
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of what Tiberius said there about just like personal responsibility, keeping yourself, you know, from putting stuff out there you don't want to be found. I do really like Ninetales' take on the whole gun control type analogy. I do like that. Like I said in the beginning, I think that it really comes down to intent and what people are trying to do with it. I think that if we're doing things for a positive way, whether it be through like white hat hacking or, you know, just testing for vulnerabilities, things like that, I think those are definitely good things. I think we're going to need more and more of that. Like Grumple said, with the industry, there's a lot of money in cybersecurity. I worked a little bit of IT for the healthcare industry myself. And that's the thing is like when you consolidate information, people are going to try to get it. So we have to do the best we can do. And actually having these companies and stuff like that have more accountability, I think is also a key. And giving them some type of a incentive to do that, whether it's, you know, through negative incentive by finding them and things like that. But like Ninetales said, there was a lot of people that just like if they have a ransomware or something like that, they just want to brush it under the rug, get rid of it as fast as they can, and just be done with it. You know, they don't want to actually look into more than that because it's bad publicity. Because whenever you have a breach like that, you have to announce it, you have to go public with that, obviously, to let people know. But that, you know, is a really bad tarnish on your, you know, company's reputation and stuff like that. So But I think that hacking overall, like I think Answer said, is a tool, and I think as long as it's used for good, it's great. And we need to find a way to punish people that are using it for bad.
All right, I'm going to throw it to Maya.
Yeah. Just to address what Ninetales said really quick, there's a big difference between an item and an action, right? A gun is an item, right? It's just something that you have. Hacking is an actual action. It is something that you do onto someone else. A proper analogy would be more like, shooting someone in hacking, right? A gun would be more like a computer, right? A tool for you to do something. It's kind of a weird analogy to make. Overall, I hope my silence said that I don't know much about this type of thing, right? Better leave it to people who know what they're talking about or pretend to know what they're talking about, how it is very often on Twitch. Yeah.
Breaking the passing
Hacking
record tonight? That's pretty
and
sweet.
doing bad things is bad. Doing good things is good. That's about it.
Based.
Speaking of hacking, I think your connection is taking a hit. You're getting out of robotic on Discord. I don't know if it's just me, but yeah.
No, it said voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going around. I can see it.
All right. I'm going to throw it to Antiza.
Yeah, so moving off what Maya said about, doing good things is good, doing bad things is bad. Yeah, I think generally speaking, we had pretty interesting conversation about how, in terms of the domestic sphere, what government can or can't do. I unfortunately couldn't really contribute to it because I don't really know what exactly the realm of what the FCC does, etc., etc. But yeah, apart from that, I would have preferred if the conversation went to a more geopolitics level. I think no countryman was trying to push it that way, in terms of how countries use hacking to affect other countries. I think that would have been a really cool conversation, especially with data protection laws and stuff like that. But apart from that, yeah, it was a pretty interesting conversation, and yeah, that's my final take. Is that I don't know much about it in terms of in the domestic sphere, but I feel we should be thinking more about data protection laws and what government can do to keep information safe. That's it.
All right. Besides frames and CTV, did I forget anyone? Same the rules. Go. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I was also kind of quiet on this one just because, I don't know. I think a lot of us were mostly agreeing in just different ways, talking past each other in a lot of ways too, where it just seems that we all kind of agree that it's a tool, or it seems like we all kind of agree that it can be used for either good or bad purposes. And that right now there's a lot of bad purposes that we're trying to stop, but the ways to stop it are kind of hard. We don't really know what to do. I think that personal responsibility is good, but I'm not sure it's a complete fix-all because obviously that's been kind of the messaging we've received the past, I would say, 15 or so years. I mean, I've had it growing up. I've had it in school. I've had it from, more and more. I think that people generally kind of, not everyone, but a lot of people do understand that a lot of stuff you put online, especially after the Patriot Act, that a lot of that, or that kind of stuff, is going to be surveilled. Even the meme about the FBI agent watching you all the time, I think that is almost indication enough that people are aware of the surveillance state. But I think what needs to be done, like Big said, also is holding companies and governments accountable somehow. I don't think outright any rhetoric around banning hack or doing something with hacking. It's it's already illegal, right? A lot of times it's already not lit. So I'm not sure there's anything more to be done on the side of punishing people that hack. I think it's more of trying to figure out how we defend against that kind of thing. I think also, and I'll real quickly just say this kind of thing. I think that even the good hacking, bad hacking thing is still kind of it's not quite that simple anyway. Maya was talking about Chelsea Manning and saying that's a bad method, but I would say there's certain things that it's hard to criticize the method when someone comes out with a whistleblowing kind of thing, just because it's not ever. There's always collateral damage in a lot of these cases. I mean, I would argue that there's a lot of value still in learning that there was 66,000 civilian deaths in the Iraq War, on the hands of the Americans. So I think there's still a lot of, even in those cases where people can get affected negatively by hacks, I don't think that necessarily means they're a bad hack. It's more of a utilitarian, what ends up being is it more beneficial or less beneficial at the end of the day? And it's really hard to judge that from the intent and not from just the outcome. I don't know. I just have that's my thoughts on it. Shitpost over.
All right. CTV is back. Perfect. CTV, closing statement on the topic.
People need to get comfortable with themselves and understand that they are the number one entity that can protect themselves. If you don't want people to know about stuff that you have going on, don't put it online. Don't put it online. Because the only other solution to actually solve it is complete authoritarian control of the network, which is ultimately going to violate fucking every bit of privacy that you might want to have from the government. So you need to either get comfortable with what you share online or not. That's all you can do. Since Mr. Geek's away, Frames, I see you jumped in here, man.
Sorry.
Look at this guy. Expecting me to carry the whole show, and then he runs back because my goodness. Frames, take it away.
Exactly. Yeah, Frames.
Imagine you hacked out about a North Korean secret and post though.
I'm doing good. Just got off work
hiding the
a little bit ago.
Americans that were working
downloading New Worlds
before them getting out. Yes, when you whistleblow, it should be done in a safe.
How you
Yes,
doing?
definitely, for sure.
Doing good. How is New Worlds?
Ate an edible.
Nice. So ready for tonight's show. All right. So with that, again, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you to North Countryman who was here, to Grumple Steelskin, and yeah, to Frames for being here. Go follow our wonderful content creator, and show some love to Danabo. Because without him, none of this would be possible. So yeah, big thank you to Danabo, twitch.tv Danabo, shellshockcbd.com, enter code Danabo for 10%. And with that being said, we're going to jump into the last topic, which is a fun one. All right. Tonight,
I don't even know what the last topic is.
We're bringing back a debate. Pancakes versus waffles versus French toast.
Oh man.
All right, so tonight you got free choice. All right.
Man.
I thought crepes was on there too.
No one knows what that
Don't be
is.
pretentious.
Which is superior, and why is it crepes? And of course, I'm going to throw it to my experts, to my expert Frames. Take it away.
Well, I think that waffles are the best, and I've noticed a lot of people in Twitch Talk Politics have been talking about waffles lately. I even saw scrolling by and saw something called Wafflegate. So I think Twitch Politics is behind me on this. I prefer waffles. They don't get soggy as quick, but I will say if I'm gonna rank them, crepes become their second place. Pancakes are, French toast, they're okay, but I like crepes because you can do like dessert or dinner things with them, like crepes and salmon, stuff like that. But yeah, waffles. I say waffles.
All right. I'm going to throw it to Tiberius.
Nah, of course you are. So the superior, the ultimate, the fantastic version of food here is obviously buttermilk pancakes. You layer that stuff up with bread. Butter. What's wrong with me? You layer it up with some butter.
Layer it up with bread.
Some maple syrup, and you go to fucking town. Now, waffles are pretty good. I don't want to diss on my waffle friends because they have that collection plate there in each little waffle cell that you can get this little bit of butter and a little bit of syrup. It's a very, very close second, but you will never beat the fine taste, the fine texture of a buttermilk waffle. So there you go.
You just said buttermilk waffle.
All right. I'm going to throw it to Maya.
Good French toast is some of the best shit that you'll ever eat. Good French toast beats almost everything. The problem is, most French toast is fucking garbage. All right? The stuff your mom makes, the stuff you find at like a $2 deli, that shit makes me vomit. All right? For that reason, French toast is probably one of the worst because it's just so hard to make. It's like, I don't know. I can't think of another thing like it. Waffles are amazing. All right? You can never make them bad, right? Unless you burn them, right? I don't know how you burn waffles. I've literally never seen a burned waffle. Maybe it's impossible, right? You can't mess it up. there's little cubes inside of it where all your stuff can go, right? It's more densely packed. It's just so much better. Pancakes suck, right? If you're gonna get pancakes, just get waffles, all right?
Hell yeah.
Right, I'm going to Fred to send the rules.
All right, I agree with a lot of what Maya said. French toast can be really good, but the problem here is, of course, it's called French toast. It has French in the title. It is disqualified immediately. Moving past that to the other two now that we've gotten rid of one of the illegitimate options from so-called France. A country, people tell me. I'd like to see some proof. But waffles and pancakes are pretty similar, right? Pancakes, they're pretty good.
I'm going to Fred to Ninetales.
Wait. Waffles got texture, okay? Waffles got some nice ass texture. Everything you can do with a pancake, you can do better with a waffle, okay? That's all I gotta say about that. I think they're pretty similar in taste, but waffle takes the cake. Obviously, I'm not talking about Eggos either, by the way. That's not a waffle. That's a corn.
Alright. I'm really going to Fred to Ninetales this time, and since the rules will never be invited again, she will be blacklisted from every show. I'm joking, obviously. Ninetales, go ahead.
But yeah, going off some inspiration from one of my chatters, we clearly need to call it Freedom Toast. You're all gonna hate me because my answer is cereal. Why? Because I can't eat none of that shit. You all are ableist pricks. I wasn't even gonna break out the ableist keyword. And Tiberius, you can die if you want, but like I wasn't even gonna call you guys that until, of course, we had to talk about something, and I can't eat wheat. So my vote is cereal because there are some gluten-free alternatives, and it's the only breakfast I can actually eat.
Funny.
Aren't there wheat-free versions of waffles?
There absolutely is.
There has to be. There's no way. This is on you, right? This is your fault.
Okay, but like,
Also,
how edible are they? Are they edible or are they just gluten-free waffles?
Should have thought about that before you had a gluten intolerance.
Oh,
this is what I mean. The ableism never ends.
Wait. I want to.
I think it's also really important to object real quick, Mr. Geek. Cereal was not on the list either.
Yeah.
So don't get mad at me for something that wasn't even on the list, because I do.
That's
like
what I'm
cereal,
saying. The list was
right?
ableist. The list
It's not. Can I just say Eggs Benedict because I like them? Come on. We have rules. We got to stick to them or it all goes to shit.
True.
This is
and
insane.
that's why you shouldn't interrupt during opening statement. I thought you all knew the rules. Anyway, I'm going to Fred to Maya.
I already did it.
Oh, sorry. Biggs.
This is so hard because all those things are just so delicious. I think it really comes down to, honestly, like how good the syrup is, to be honest, because I think a good syrup can really make the difference. But if I had to pick between the three, I'm going to go with actually French toast. There's so many different ways you can make French toast. You can make it just like your normal, home version. You can make it stuffed French toast. You can make, I had at this one restaurant, a Captain Crunch, like crusted French toast. It was just so amazing. You can make it dessert with like ice cream, with all kinds of fruits and stuff like that. It's just so good. And it's just so amazing, but it was a really tough choice. So it's French toast by a hair, but they're all delicious, and the syrup can really make the difference.
All right, listen. I'm going to pull a Sam Seed over here and bring another expert. How are you doing, Marcavius?
What's up? How's everybody doing?
Doing good. What's your take?
I mean, like, look, as a chef, I gotta go with versatility, right? Like, if I'm gonna serve some shit to my restaurant, I'm gonna have to go with French toast because I can actually include it in other dishes besides, like, pancakes and fucking like waffles or some shit. What am I gonna put on that? Some syrup, some dessert shit? What is this? The United States? No, I'm trying to reach, like a larger audience. It's not. We're not trying to have an echo chamber of food here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to get it so like mom and pop and the fucking the fucking like tech guy and everybody can come and eat this shit, dude. I want sausage gravy. I want all kinds of shit on top of my French toast. And some people might want something else, but with waffles and pancakes, you're pretty limited. It's like fuck, man. Leave it to an American to eat the dessert first, though. All right.
Who the hell invited you?
What the fuck are you talking?
Yeah, that was like some of the worst shit I've. Oh my god! Consider my hand.
I fully support you. That was base.
Wait, Anti-Zach, go.
All right, as a fellow
Important.
non-American on this panel, I agree with you, Marcavius. Very based French toast. But
Y'all just need to get
sure.
out more.
True. I don't really go. I don't really go outside to eat breakfast. Like go out and go to like restaurants and stuff. So my breakfast experience is mostly at home. So and from the dishes that my mum has prepared or that I have prepared or my dad has prepared, I'd say French toast is the best. Pancakes, they're good, they're okay, but French toast just hits different, you know. It has that, the texture's just nicer than a pancake. You know, that you're more. It's as Markavius said, it's more versatile. So yeah, that's
Holy
why I
crap,
prefer.
loud.
Oh, am I?
Oh, sorry. No, I thought I was muted. I just meant for my
Go
stream. I
ahead,
just meant for like.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm speaking too close to my microphone, but yeah.
Let
That's my point.
Let me put this from an ingredient perspective.
Wait. We're still in opening. I want Untitled to finish, and after that, I'm afraid.
My mom makes good. My mom makes good French toast, and that's all. And that's all I need. And with that, I throw it to everyone in this wonderful panel.
Did I forget anyone? Real quick before we jump in.
Did CTV go?
Yeah, they'll kill you.
Yeah, you forgot about the
riddles are good,
celiacs. You
but-
forgot about all the celiacs that exist in the world, Mr. Geek.
I forget it and I sleep better for it. All right.
This isn't that kind of restaurant.
All right, CTV, go.
Well, you're all forgetting, right? That there's nothing better than American toast, okay? French toast is good, right? Waffles, they're good too. Pancakes, yeah. But American toast, right? Butter over bread, toasted in a toaster, mixed, of course, with a few eggs over medium. Oh, yeah.
This isn't the best Grand Slam.
Some strawberry jam. American toast, folks. American
toast.
You gotta think outside the box with these things, y'all.
You know, like.
Before opening it to everyone, I just want to remind everyone that there's no such thing as an American toast because you don't have bread. That's it. With that, you can. The floor is yours.
I'm sorry. What station is responsible for the most wheat production? That's right.
Quantity doesn't equal quality.
Sure it does.
Anyways, first off, to the chef, I can't believe you just pulled that as a insert here, but
I know, drug war toast.
You can literally, I mean, waffles are also just as versatile as French toast. Actually, I've had waffles with more other foods than just syrup than French toast. Like 90% of the times that I'm seeing French toast, it's doused with just sweet shit. But I've had chicken and waffles. I've had waffles stuffed with like egg, cheese, and peppers. There's all types of shit you can do with it.
Yeah, it's
also
that is true.
No, yeah. As a proud Southerner, I have I'm so proud. I have a Confederate flag right outside my house. All right. Fried chicken and waffles is an iconic combo. All right. Like,
hell yeah, it is.
When you come to the South, that's all they talk about, and like their Confederate flags.
Yeah, chicken waffles is great. Also, whenever I make chicken and waffles, if there's some like candied jalapenos with it, like it's good shit, man.
To be honest, I've never.
I also wanted to address a few things. That's why I hate going first, because then I don't get to address everyone else real quick. Someone was talking about, I think it was you, and me and you have agreed, Maya. Me and you have agreed mostly on everything I think so far, except for your dissing Eggos a little bit, which is fine. Eggos aren't the best, but you know what's worse than Eggos? Toaster pancakes that you buy like Eggos. They're even fucking worse. Yeah, disgusting. Also, someone was talking about like the texture of pancakes. I think it was Tiberius. Texture of waffles are so much fucking better, and they don't get soggy nearly as quick. So whenever you're having brunch and you're slamming down fucking mimosas, getting more hammered than CTV was last week, you know that it's the way to go. It's waffles. There was someone else I wanted to respond to. Oh yeah, I have a link of someone was talking about, oh, you could do stuffed French toast. You can do stuffed waffles too. I have a link for you. Here's 21 different stuffed waffle recipes. So I'll toss that in chat. I actually have this bookmarked. That's because I'm a pig. Also into CTV.
don't say people were not thinking outside the box. We were going by a list. Like technically, I could have been like, my favorite of all those is steak. You guys aren't thinking outside the box.
Yeah, exactly.
My favorite
True.
is sweet tarts. You guys just were not thinking outside the box enough. You added something to the list that it wasn't even on there. So
At least I had an excuse.
I mean, hold on. That was to me, right? So like you say that, right, Frames? But in reality, right? That's why I said American toast, because there was French toast that was being just loved on so much. And you know what? Well, I can appreciate French toast, right? There's nothing like American toast. All right.
Isn't American toast just regular toast?
It's charred fucking bread.
Yeah.
Is really?
And it goes great with
It's
fucking
like
eggs.
American pie. Like
Right? They go
I've heard
together.
of this before.
They go together, right? Like just like your syrup goes with your fucking waffle, right? So because there are things that just
Is it like
go
a
with
piece of bread
things,
that's a gunner?
right? You'd have to hold on. You'd have to concede the entire argument to where now we're only talking about no butter, no fucking syrup, no fucking nothing, right? So this is where thinking outside of the box, I go to American toast, right? That has motherfucking 3 or 4 eggs over medium, right, with some fucking bacon, right? Like these are the things that go with American toast versus French toast, which includes fucking syrup. So it's like you can stay in the syrupy land over here if you want, but my toast over here, right, goes with all this other shit that we all fucking love, right? Like bacon.
Isn't
No. So it's nice having wrong perspectives for a little while, but here, let's put this from an ingredient perspective, right? American toast, charred bread, and let's take French toast, right? Imagine you're making French toast and then you stop halfway through and then just put it in a fucking George Foreman. That's waffles. And instead of a George Foreman, let's just put it in a
No, it's
fucking frying
not.
pan with some
Wait,
butter
yeah,
on it.
what are you
No, that's pancakes.
What do you mean it's waffles if you throw it in a George Foreman? It's batter. You make a
Okay, not
different
a
batter
George
than-
Foreman.
Yeah, like French toast is made from a dough, not a batter.
It's slightly different. You're right.
Is American
Way to go,
toast an actual
way to
thing?
go, chef.
No, it's not.
That's what I'm confused about. Like, is that something that like
It's slightly
it's
different. Come on, I thought we were memeing about 3 different breakfast foods, dude.
I'm just here. I'm just here to meet. It's good to see you again, Marcavius. It's been a minute.
Yeah, you too, dude.
I've never heard of American toast before.
There is no American toast.
It's charred bread, dude. It's charred bread. It's literally just charred
Why
bread.
the hell would you? Why would you eat that? It's worse than the British. I thought Americans like had, like.
That's why.
I don't think that there's like. I don't think you can really include eggs as part of like the bread, like as part of the toast. I think that, like syrup and
Yeah, it's like a
butter and stuff-
sandwich.
Yeah,
like, is a
its own-
sandwich like?
Hold on. All I'm
eggs
hearing
are its
right
own
now
meal.
is
about American
eggs are its
toast.
own meal. You
All
can't
I'm
really add
hearing
that as,
right-
like a topping. It's not a topping.
Also,
Yeah,
Meal
but all I'm
topping.
hearing right now is just like crying because you don't understand the correlation when I just laid it all out. Do I need to do it again? Right? See,
And wait.
And if you're bringing up American toast, let me represent Australia, all right? Fairy bread. Fairy bread
Oh,
beats
yeah.
American toast.
Fairy bread?
9 out of 10.
Is that like,
Upside down bread.
is that like gay bread?
Antis are one, dude.
Yeah.
Antis are one, dude.
Whoa! Just because it's a fairy bread doesn't mean anything else, right? So let's not go there. But what the fuck is fairy bread? I've got to ask.
I'm
Right.
gay. I will totally claim fairy bread because I know what it is. That shit's dank.
Also, don't
It
they
is.
eat Vegemite in Australia? I don't need your guys' opinion on anything.
Vegemite.
Okay, no. But in New York, there's Vegemite pizza, and apparently that's good, right? So we're exporting that shit culturally. Just saying. Anyways,
Still not-
fairy
still not
bread
very American toast.
is American toast is charred bread according to Marcavius, alright?
And it goes with eggs and everything else.
TV. I love American food, you know. McDonald's is
America.
dog shit, but I love it, alright? Well, I guess, like, okay. Fairy bread, built different. You got bread, toast it, butter, and you put sprinkles on it. And it's beautiful. It's an experience. Butter and sprinkles. It's an experience. You look at it.
Can I just ask a question? Why are bagels being excluded from the conversation?
How was a bagel?
Oh,
Oh,
we
wait.
didn't talk about bagels.
Because
Yes, so okay, so that would be a good discussion actually. Like toast, bagels, and McMuffins, English muffins.
Biscuits,
I feel like
please.
that's in a
biscuits.
category of its own. Yeah, biscuits, dude. Biscuits are fucking.
All right, biscuits win everything. All right.
Wait,
that's
hold
over.
on.
Next
No,
question.
you can't. You're gonna have to make sure that you include croissants. Okay.
Croissant.
No French.
Oh,
That shit is lunch. We're
Who's
talking about
baguette
breakfast.
croissant?
dude. We're talking about breakfast, not lunch. I know it's Mr. Geek's breakfast, but like, come on.
Wait. Have you never
majority
went
of
to
the
Have you never went to Burger King and got a croissant sandwich? Are you shitting me?
Oh, those are fucking good.
Those
Oh
are
my
fucking
God.
good as fuck.
Dude,
Come
Geek's
on,
gonna start
man.
bleeding out of his
Geek
nose
is
if we
not
continue.
enjoying this this discourse. With
What's wrong, Geek?
Sandwich.
I
Yeah.
want to hear. Wait, I want to hear Geek's opinion.
He wants a crepe.
We
Or
we
should I
make
say
poutine
crap?
with
You hate
no
crap.
sauce and no curd, dude. It's
What's your-
great,
what's
and
your
we call it
opinion?
French.
What? Sorry.
What's your opinion, Mr. Geek, my old friend?
I think that first of all, none of you can talk about bread. That's the first one that I want to bring
Dude,
up.
why did you
Like,
fucking ask us?
I just can't talk about bread without pointing out that it's an
I'm not the
ableist
one.
thing.
I'm not the one who came up with the topic. This is not my choice. Blame Danabo.
Blame
No, I'm not
Danabo.
blaming you.
Wow.
I think it's great.
I always
And,
blame Dan
I
about
love
it.
this one.
Also, are the French known for their bread? I thought it was like a Danish thing or something for some reason.
Wait, did we just
They're
see
known
an
for
actual?
retreating usually.
Did we just saw an actual French response to confrontation?
I'm going to start.
Oh,
Ooh, shots
Also,
fired.
like
Blame
America-
someone else.
America took your guys' art of bread and made it better. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
Look, the
You
only
have
reason
to eat
Americans
bread.
look.
We can
No.
eat bread. Literally, bread was like the center of our alimentation. Like it was the center of what we were eating. You have to dip it into some shit to make it eatable. This is the difference. We have
Yes.
bread, we can eat it straight up. You can't.
Yes,
We
you do.
look. The only things we bake good. The only things we bake good in the United States are from the South, and we learned those baking techniques from when we used to have fucking colonies from France down there. All right. So like that's like I'm just gonna say it. We don't do bread good. We don't do baking good. We don't do fucking sweets all that good. That's over on the other side of the pond.
Tiberius, I feel like you haven't, I feel like you haven't been
Sorry,
involved.
Maya,
a
what
minute.
did you say?
Oh,
He was asking why I wasn't getting involved.
Yeah, but Mr. Geek, do you think France does gluten-free bread better? Because that would be amazing.
Gluten-free
Over here,
bread.
we need better gluten-free bread.
I don't know.
Nobody does
I don't-
gluten-free bread good.
No one cares about gluten free.
Ooh. Ableist moment.
I'm about to go full ableist just to trigger Nigel.
Just to
Oh, you're
shit
not
on
going to trigger
gluten-free
me. It
bread.
was already a meme to begin
Hey,
with. You can't trigger me by
Nantel's-
countering my
Nantel's-
meme.
no
Ooh.
joke. I have a bunch of like gluten-free recipes because I have a friend that's gluten-free. So like whenever we have like parties and stuff, I'll make something that's gluten-free. If you want me to send you a really good gluten-free bread recipe, I don't think you could buy.
Amazing.
And that's unfortunate. I don't think you can buy really good gluten-free bread, but you totally
How
can
many
make.
times can you say gluten free?
Okay, thank you. That'd
No
be amazing.
shit. No one cares. Fuck. Let's move that one.
You can say GF bread, and that sounds like you're having sex with it, though.
Replica
Oh
Games
my
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Or
That
just
was
like
great.
times.
Right in the gutter.
Frames asked me for my take earlier. I just want to say, if the choice is between pancakes, waffles, French toast, and crepes, it's crepes. If it's between pancakes, waffles, and French toast,
I don't even know what a crepe
it's
is.
waffles.
Thought there was only 3 items, Geek.
Thank you. I
That's
think
why
I
we
feel
don't
like mine and
listen to
Mr.
the
Geek's opinions are close. I almost picked crepes, but I like waffles a little bit more.
I love how I couldn't bring cereal in, but Geek's like, you know what? I love crepes so much. I just have
Well,
to bring
crepes-
them in.
Crepes were on the
It's a
original
heritage
question.
thing.
They're not even a breakfast, are they? They're just like a thing you can
They
make.
could be crepes can be
Texas
breakfast,
toast,
lunch,
Texas
dinner.
toast.
Like
Exactly. They don't qualify here.
well, you
There's
can eat
nothing good
crepes with
about
like syrup and
gluten-free
butter and
food.
stuff like
It's
you
all
do pancakes.
gross.
Like I said earlier,
Gross.
like if I eat
I
it
can
for
also
dinner, I
eat
make it
fish
look like.
with syrup and butter. That doesn't make it like pancakes.
I mean, but it's a common thing for it to be eaten with syrup and butter.
I'm
But
just
for
saying,
dinner, I like making like spinach and salmon and cheese. That's also really good.
that does sound good. I'm
It's
just
a
saying, if I
special
can't bring
cuisine.
cereal into this because it's the only thing that I can eat, then Geek doesn't get to bring crepes in because of culture or whatever.
All right,
No,
fine, crepes is out.
Freems brought up a good point with the gluten-free bread and with my response for responding to the French bread. So I think the big failure of Americans and French toast is they don't fucking make the bread because they buy the bread.
I will say, if you make your own bread and make French toast with it, oh my fucking god, it is
It's
so good.
so good.
But it's a lot of work.
There's a lot of truth to that. Just regular bread doesn't work, but if you get some nice big old fluffy bread, yeah, okay. You guys are making some points here.
Yeah.
Who's the person who said that they like the texture of pancakes? Who said that?
Oh, it's top
Bit
beer.
weird. That's a
You know,
bit weird.
When you get pancakes, you're not getting pancakes, all right? You're getting a fucking pudding, all right? Because the moment you put some syrup on that shit, it's not a solid anymore. That shit gets all mushy. You can't use a fork.
Hey,
It becomes a gelatin.
Look, Maya, I don't know who's giving you pancakes, and I'm sorry that they fucking suck at it, but that is not the case.
I don't know what kind of
then you're
pancakes you're probably just eating bricks then, all right?
If you're eating pancakes and they don't turn to pudding, you're not putting enough syrup on them, actually.
Dude, you
sounds like a
fucking
terrible
make yourself. You fucking make yourself some fried butter with some pancake drippings on top is what you do.
Yeah, I don't want to go too hard on pancakes because pancakes are still pretty goddamn good.
Y'all asked what American toast was. American toast is best known as Texas toast. Okay.
That's like garlic.
Okay.
Texas toast is like garlic.
Doesn't have to be garlic on it. That's just what you're most commonly associating it with, right? The Texas toast, right?
Actually, I think American
Right.
toast is commonly associated with like sucking. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
bad.
So Texas toast is American toast, right? And you
Yeah.
can make French toast out of that.
Yeah,
Right?
And fairy bread is better.
Or you can take it and make your motherfucking eggs over medium, right? Have some nice ready yolk. Oh my god, that shit's so good.
Dude, if you go to a diner and you order American toast, they're gonna give you some fucking charred bread and some butter on the side.
Also, all Texas toast is, it isn't a type of bread. It's the way they slice the bread. It's just sliced thicker, just thick bread, which is good for
Well,
French toast. But
Why would you want thick bread?
it's good
I
for
don't know.
like dipping and stuff. Like if you're eating like.
Oh
pasta.
yeah, that's true.
I'm not even a chef. Sorry,
But yeah,
Uh,
from the way
have a
you
good one,
described
man.
it,
Take it
like
easy.
you could just literally
Ooh,
just
a
make
football
it a
game.
sandwich. I don't know, like I didn't see the appeal of just making it just toast.
Look, it's
Just add,
Texas.
like,
Is,
just add a-
Texas
just
is
add a
just a
thing to it.
Texas is like warrior or ranger. It's just a colloquialism for large.
Oh, I see. But yeah, I'm still gonna like go with my guns, or my lack of guns in this case, being Australian. Fairy bread. Fairy bread's where it's at. If we're going with the three options,
How do
French
you
toast is
spell
where
that?
it's at.
See, to
Fairy
me, what
bread?
you described fairy bread, this like sounds like you're like if you had kids or something, you wanted to sleep in, you told them to go make their own breakfast, so they just made toast.
I mean, yeah,
sprinkles on
true.
it.
But like
Or even
also
better,
it's
if-
Australian classic. I can't not mention it. You know.
But yeah, how do you
Even
spell
better,
it?
it sounds like a way to coax your child into actually eating breakfast.
Oh, fair. I figured it out. Okay.
Eating.
It's a
at
way to
least-
get rid of the sweet shit in your pantry, is what it is.
Yeah. Like, if you're gonna make someone eat breakfast, at least make them eat something healthy. What the fuck? Bread, butter, and sprinkles? That shit sounds like a heart attack waiting to happen.
How is
Okay,
that a heart attack waiting to happen?
Oh my, it's disgusting.
looks
Wait, it's from New Zealand?
Okay, in America, sugar causes heart attacks. That's what you have to remember.
I just
Oh,
googled
we
it.
can-
Wait
I
a
don't
minute,
think
hold
we
on.
can talk about
Does sugar
healthy
not
in
cause
it.
heart-
Wait. We cannot talk about healthy for any of this.
Yeah.
Be clear on
Yeah,
that,
no,
like, we're
we're-
all
yeah.
on
Right.
like equal level.
What are you talking about? I'm the epitome of health.
Yeah. So sugar
No,
doesn't
I'm just
create
saying
heart
that, like,
attacks in any
trans
other
fats
country.
is already such an epidemic in the U.S. that like you can't not eat sugar without increasing your risk of heart disease. Everywhere else, though, you're fine. But just America, it's just so prevalent that like sugar is more dangerous somehow.
Is this good for you? Is Black Rifle canned coffee good for you?
Yeah.
Probably
You
not.
bought it from Black Rifle?
I've never had it before. I bought it because they were out of the Starbucks one. I just realized
Ah,
that's
I see.
300 milligrams of caffeine.
Damn.
That's not good.
Isn't that the company owned by veterans and shit?
Yes.
Like who poses conservative? Yeah, okay, I see.
But the conservatives got mad at him about something here recently. What was
I'm
it?
a veteran and I make pour over coffee because it's better.
Yeah, I usually do cold brew, but I ran out of coffee and I forgot to go buy some.
No, I feel you. I buy
I'm
Starbucks
I'm
sometimes,
neither a
come on.
coffee nor tea person. I'm a chocolate milk kind of guy.
So we all agree waffles are the best, right? After the
No, what?
think we all agree
I give
waffles
him a
are the
close
best.
second, Frames, but
French toast.
It's
Or it's,
Definitely French toast, 100%.
No, I think the
I mean,
take I
it's
had
just-
earlier is objectively the correct one. All right.
Yeah.
In America, most of the time French toast fucking sucks. It has the highest peaks out of all of them, but generally it's mid tier, right? Waffles
can
are
we-
more consistent.
Can we all agree to compare the best version of each dish?
Yeah, then there's French
basically?
toast.
Oh,
just
then it's
win.
French
Yeah,
toast.
yeah.
Objective.
Yeah,
I still
Gotta be
say
French
say
toast, dude.
waffles. Like,
I'm going
have you ever
waffles.
had?
How
Like,
can you say waffle?
What do you mean?
listen, go to a real nice restaurant in Vegas after being drunk all night, and, then order like I'm talking about a real nice place and order like super like high end waffles, and you will change your fucking mind. Most people just haven't had really good waffles.
No, the thing is, waffles on their own.
I could say the
are
same
kind of
thing
shit,
about
all right?
French
That's
toast.
and the entire reason why they have the little holes, because they know on its own it's garbage, so you have to put something on it.
It's almost like I've already made this argument.
That's the entire point of the waffle, not
No,
the other
exactly,
way around.
exactly. French
Yeah, none
toast,
of these things
is already good on its own.
None of these things. No, it's not.
This is the kind of idea that's just like, oh, pasta is bad because it's a sauce delivery vehicle. No, pasta is bad because it's a sauce delivery vehicle.
No, when you say pasta,
you have to put sauce on
the
all
pasta. You
three
include the sauce. Okay, that's kind of...
Hang on. You guys, we're arguing a moot point. You have to put sauce on all three dishes. Come on.
Yeah, because I feel like any of them on their own are not good. Like even French toast.
No, French toast on its own fucking awesome. What do you mean?
I don't think so. It's just like
pancakes
toast.
are best by themselves. Waffles are the best with everything.
Put it in.
Wait, pancakes? What?
Pancakes are the best by themselves. Waffles are the best by
No, I thought you said something different. No, fuck that. Oh my god.
No.
What?
French toast and brisket. French toast and pork.
With all due respect.
French toast and steak.
Hold on.
French toast and bacon.
Friends, you never have respect for me.
With all due respect, Tiberius, I do not respect you.
Well, we already knew that. You've never had respect for me. What are you talking about, Frames? Fuck.
No, you know that's a lie. Come on now.
You're all right. Hey, I need to sign out on this one. I've got to get ready for another show here in a little bit. So, you guys mind?
No, we're going to go into...
Wait a minute, did Tiberius really get his feelings hurt? My goodness.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Look at him.
I think it's time we're gonna go into a closing statement and Tiberius, closing statement and shout out. And Tiberius, since you have to go, yeah, start.
I appreciate it. So yeah, look, I always have the wrong food taste when it comes to these things. Apparently, Chicago pizza is terrible. Apparently, pancakes are terrible. All this shit. Y'all just don't know how to eat. Y'all need to come to the West to get some good Midwestern eating. Don't get me wrong, the South does barbecue better than we ever could. I will admit that. But on a general level, my name is Tiberius D. I study in economics, political science. My claim to fame is knowing something about geopolitics, and I largely stream that particular content. If you want to have a chat with me, do that. I always do these two things. Number one, if you care about what is going on, you need to get involved. I am tired of the crazy train dominating the politics. I'm tired of people on the left trying to revamp communism. I'm tired of the people on the right acting like racism ended in 1965. It's time for sane people to get fucking involved. Please do so. Okay, and without further ado, if you are interested in some other political content after this show is over, Mask Off Conversations is back here at 9 p.m. EST, and we're going to be talking about education with counterpoints, aristocracy. Let me pull up the list. Forgot. Sorry. Crab baskets. Sorry. Counterpoints, Aristocracy, GSU Gambit, Hans of Karkir, Osiris, Pisco 95, Samantha Banana, Taze Grove, and myself. We'll be talking about education tonight here in about 40 minutes. So if you want to come join us to do that, that would be fantastic. I need to sign off and prepare for that, so I hope you all have a great
You have a wonderful night at Tiberius. And like you said, if you want to find this show, twitch.tv/Tiberius.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys.
Tiberius_D or... Yeah. But yeah, thank you for joining us and have a good night. All right. I'm going to throw it to Maya.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to leave soon. I have a hot date in a couple of minutes, so I gotta get ready.
Hell yeah.
I'm Maya, known as Femboy Mass on everything. You can find me there. My claim to fame is posting my thighs on Twitter. All right. You can see me. I'm mainly tweeting about some random shit posting, just having fun. Just look me up, Femboy Mass on everything. Join my Discord. Let's chat. All right. And have a good one.
All right. You have a good one. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, go follow Maya. And yeah, Femboy Maya. And yeah.
Hot date time.
Yeah. All right. With that, I'm going to throw it to Marcavius.
Yo, what up? Marcavius.com. Fucking with a Z, with an S, it don't matter. Fucking, I'm back in this shit. I know half the people here put me on all your fucking panels and shit like that. I'm back in the game. And I also don't just do politics anymore. I fuck with Armin 3 and Valheim and shit like that. I might even get back in the Eve. I'm not trying to just be pigeonholed into politics. And yo, Tiberius is right. I argue with the man a lot, but Tiberius is right. Fucking, if you know shit about something, use your lane and please drive onto this platform. But try to stay in your lane, because when you get out of your lane and argue with like 10 people on a debate panel about shit that you don't know about, it's stupid as fuck, and it makes for stupid as fuck content. But if you want to argue about some of the shit that you know about, please, we need you. We need you so bad. We're so badly. Like, it's the same people all the time. It's so nice to see happen. Like, people, it's so nice to not know people. And like Antizer and Sensei, it's good to meet y'all. I'm sad that I only got here for the memes, but yo, put me on all your panels. I want to fight everybody now.
I want to fight everybody.
Markavius.com.
All right, good to have you back, Markavius. I'm going to fade to Ninetales.
Yeah, so that was super fun. My answer is still I only enjoy foods that I eat, so none of them are good. Anyways, I'm Ninetales. You can follow me at twitch.tv/Ninetales all one word. You spell out the 9 instead of writing the number 9, which is the opposite of my Twitter. It's at M9Scarlet, so that's the letter M, the number 9 is Scarlet with 2 T's, and I'm trying to give radical leftism a science and engineering twist. Basically, we're going to go full STEM with this shit and seize the means of productions. Way better than any of the old philosophers could have ever imagined. So, big focus on DIY and reusing stuff instead of throwing it out. And follow. You can find my YouTube channel through Twitch to keep track of that.
All right, thank you for joining us tonight. And next time we have a food topic, I make sure to have a gluten-free option.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. It's okay.
All right, I'm going to fade to B.
Yeah, so I think, like we all agreed, I think it's obvious that French toast is the best. But I just want to thank everybody here. It was a pleasure speaking with all of you. Thank you, Danimo, for putting this together. Thank you for Mr. Geek for hosting it. You can find me on Twitch at Biggs8500 and on Twitter and YouTube at the same thing, Biggs8500. I do gaming and politics and just like having conversations with people. So thank you for having me, and I appreciate everybody on the panel. You guys were all amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Big. And you have a good night. I'm going to fade to Frames.
Hey, yeah, twitch.tv/frames. Believe it or not, I know they bring me on here to discuss the fun topics, but I actually do cover politics pretty regularly. Usually once a week we do a game stream too. Yeah, I don't know what this guy Biggs next to me said. Talk about people saying French toast is the best. I'm still confused. Sorry, that's why I'm like kind of stuttering here, because I don't think anyone said that. Anyways, yeah, thanks for having me on. Again, twitch.tv/frames. I'll be don't usually do this, but today I'll be playing New World because I just got it while I react to the most recent HippyDippy. So if it's something you're interested in, come check it out.
Yeah. Let me know how New World is. I'm kind of curious about
I played the alpha and the beta, and I loved it. So if you like an action style MMO, it's better than Elder Scrolls. Kind of gives me like a Final Fantasy 14 feel as far as like gameplay goes. Very interesting story for what I could tell from the alpha. So come by my stream, Geek. Come check it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, will do. All right, I'm going to fade to Antizer.
Gladly. Yeah, so my name's Entizer. On the topic of breakfast foods, French toast, because my mom can cook it well, I guess. But yeah, so I've been streaming for about 4 weeks. I recently hit affiliate, which is pretty cool. And yeah, you can find me on twitch.tv/Entizer. You can go on my website, which has links to all my other social media, entizer.github.io. For Halloween month, October, I'm playing Alien Isolation, so you can check me out. Currently I stream Saturdays 12 p.m. Australian time, so that should be 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. Eastern, depending on how it is. So yeah, I had fun today. Thank you for inviting me.
Anytime. Senzero.
Yeah, what's up? I think that I can concede that maybe redacted toast is okay in some circumstances, but waffles will always take the cake for me. I think that, yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that. And where you can find me, I am Sens Rules. You can find me at Sens Rules on Twitter, Twitch, obviously, YouTube, and Spencer is my username on Tinder if you find me there. And then, in addition to that, I don't know, I just kind of stream politics. I'm a leftist. Social is pretty cool, I think. I'm a bad influence. Yeah, very epic moment. Bye. Thanks for the panel also, by the way.
Sorry, I'm muted. CTV, how are you doing?
I'm confused right now.
Hmm?
I'm confused.
Why is that?
I'm genuinely confused right now. I've been doing these panels for over a year now, right? And I have never, not once, ever heard anyone shout out their Tinder. I've never heard anybody shout out their Tinder.
Can you look people up
I've never
directly?
heard that. I'm confused as fuck why somebody would shout out their Tinder on a panel.
Can you
But-
look people up directly on Tinder? Sorry
That's
to
funny.
talk to you. in
That
your
is pretty
outro,
funny.
but-
Yeah, I mean,
You can if you have the link to their profile.
I had no idea.
so I'm confused, Geek. I never seen that before.
That's a solid move,
Oh,
to be
thank
honest.
you so much for
I
following.
mean, it's definitely it lets people know what you're
Ben
looking
is
for.
the lone wolf. Thank you for the follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I just died.
But
in the
anyway,
game.
good show tonight.
Thank you.
Nice, easy conversation. And yeah, it's obvious that American Toast won the day.
Sorry.
It's obvious. It's obvious. Twitch.tv/critically thinking veteran. I enjoy going through ideas and talking about them in a very calm, rational manner. That's what I enjoy. Sometimes they don't get to stay that way, and then you get a whole different side of me. So, if you can remain calm, I'd love having conversations. But if you're just trying to debate bro stuff, you can find me on panels like this if you want to debate bro. So, yeah, I'm
Thank you everybody for hanging out
feeling
tonight.
really good
I really
tonight.
appreciated it.
feeling really good.
It was a fun
Nice.
panel.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to thank you.
Wasn't
first of
anything
all,
too
did I forget
spicy,
anyone?
and kind of
Just to
filling
make
in or
100% sure I'm
be the guy that
okay,
fills in.
Perfect.
Does fun
I wanted
things.
to thank you all for coming tonight, for joining us. And yeah, I'm going to say goodbye to my chat, rate someone, and yeah.
Peace.
Thank
Sounds
you,
good.
everyone.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Nice meeting you.
everybody.
Good night. Always
See you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm gonna end my stream. Have a great night.